and fire it off.
Rose Bowl game.
It's simple and intuitive.
Broadcast on radio.
On second thought, perhaps some people are confusing it with a smart speaker prompt.
Texas and Arizona.
Pretty sure that's what's happening.
Texas and Arizona football game.
Fox Sports Radio is at your fingertips on the iHeartRadio app. To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details.
Go! Check them out.
FS1.
Check them out.
FS1.
All right, we got some picks to make. Let's do it.
Rapid fire.
All right, Jared, we start with you. What do you like?
Fading the steam, baby. If you just blindly faded the 6-point moves in the NFL preseason over the last 3 years, you'd be 8-0. Well, the Giants were minus 3.5 2 days ago. Now they're plus 2.5. 3.5 plus 2.5. Yeah, that's 6. No Josh Allen today. Mitchell Trubisky's going to start. Russell Wilson's going to start for the Giants. Who cares? You're getting 6 points of value. I know crossing 0 isn't as valuable as just going from 1 to 7, but I still will take the Giants plus 2.5. We're going to fade this steam on the Vikings today. Seeing a lot of love on Minnesota. I don't care. I'll take 5.5 with the Texans. KOC historically limits his starting reps in preseason. I know we're going to see McCarthy. But for the Texans, they're also working in a new offensive line. They need some time together, and they're working in some skill position depth as well. So I think the Texans are going to see plenty of their ones as well. And we'll go under 39.5 Chiefs-Cardinals. I've seen this total go up from 35. Now we're pushing 40. If you can find a 40, that's a great bet because under 40 in the preseason, totals of 40 or higher, they tend to stay under in the preseason. That's what the data says. So I will go under Chiefs-Cardinals 39.5 later tonight.
Okay, all MLB money lines for me. Braves over Marlins. Atlanta's offense is a buzzsaw right now. Miami starters have been giving up early crooked numbers. That's a problem against this offense. Astros over the Yankees. Okay, Houston's lineup kills fastballs. Yankee starters rely on heat. It's a recipe for a loud night for Houston. Give me the Stros. And then Reds over the Pirates. Cincinnati's top of the order is hot. The Pirates' bullpen has been a gas can. I like the Reds in this spot. So give me Braves, Astros, and Reds all on the money line today.
All right. You go all baseball, Rich. I go all WNBA. How about
Love
that?
it.
I'm looking at the Sky against the Fever. Give me under 163.5. Couple of reasons. Injuries all over the place, right? The Sky are bad and they're banged up. It's a bad basketball team. The under is hitting 9 of the last 10 games for the Chicago Sky, right? Not great. Unless you're betting the under. That's fantastic. The Fever, the thing to know with them, they only have 9 available players. Caitlin Clark is still banged up. They have no true point guards. They just had 2 injuries occur. They have no true point guards. I think it's going to be a sloppy, ugly game. By the way, Aaliyah Boston, 3.5 assists. She's commonly sharing the ball as a big for the Fever. I think she goes over. It's a little juicy, minus 155. But keep that in mind. Not a play for here because it's too juicy. Too juicy for rapid fire, but keep it in mind. I think she probably gets there. My other 2 picks, I'm looking at the Sparks, man. The Sparks are the hottest team in the WNBA. They are on fire right now. They play great on the road. I'm going to take their team total over 84.5. Again, they've been triple digits. They've reached 100 points in 5 of the last 6 games. And I'll go with my girl, Azurá Stevens. Let's zigzag it. She had a rough performance last time out against the Sun. Only 10 points, 1 for 7 from 3. I think that changes against the Valkyries tonight. I'll take her over 12.5 points in that one. I think the Sparks score a lot of points. I don't think that Golden State slows them down. I'd take the Sparks, minus the points, but it's moved so much. I got to get a little creative. You got to get a little creative right there.
I like that a lot.
All right.
Let's go.
Good. Let's parlay everything together. 9 Lakers.
I am dedicated. I am TNT.
With Team in Training, you will reach your best physical self so blood cancer patients can reach theirs. Change your life by joining a marathon, half marathon, triathlon, or a cycle event, and you'll change the lives of blood cancer patients.
I am committed. I am TNT.
After 600,000 participants and almost $1 billion raised for treatments, TNT has helped the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society make a significant impact in the advancement of blood cancer therapies that save lives every day.
I am making a difference. I am TNT.
Join TNT. Expand your circle of friends to be part of a very special community. Train with world-class trainers and have the chance to be part of the most exciting endurance sports events in the country. Or train on your own schedule with TNT Flex. Join TNT and fundraise while you train and take part in getting us all closer to a world without blood cancers.
Join TNT now. Go to teamintraining.org.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. Whether it's a long day on your feet, a demanding workout, or everyday aches and pains, you need relief that can keep up when pain persists. Aleve is here for you with longer-lasting body pain relief compared to leading OTC branded pain relievers. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
And we're back, live during a Flex Alert. Dialed in on the thermostat. Oh, we're pre-cooling before 4 p.m., folks.
And that's the end of the third. Time to set it back to 78 from 4 to 9 p.m. Clutch move by the home team. What's the game plan from here on out?
Laundry?
Not today.
Dishwasher?
Sidelined.
What a performance by Team California. The power truly is ours.
During a Flex Alert, pre-cool, power down, and let's beat the heat together.
A strong heart, a steady stride, a life full of milestones. El Camino Health is here for you. From advanced heart and vascular care that keeps you on beat, to expert orthopedic treatments that keep you moving, and innovative cancer care that fights alongside you. With expert care for women, men, and new moms, supporting you through every chapter of your health, because every life we touch is built on trust and compassion. El Camino Health, our strength, your health.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Pour Downy in the rinse shade. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. The best Giants talk in the Bay is on 95.7 The Game. Reaction to every pitch.
He struck him out! And the game, Ryan Walker!
Every home run.
Jung-Hoo Lee finds the bleachers in right center field.
And every big play.
Here comes Ramos! This game is over!
It's your fix for Giants baseball.
Not only is it the greatest game in the world, we're in the memory-making business.
The Orange and Black Weekend Wrap.
Devers high drive. Right center field. Out of here.
Oh, my goodness. Hello there. Welcome in to the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. Man, that was an absolute tank shot by Rafie Devers there. Dwayne Kuiper on the call for NBC Sports Bay Area. Giants starting off a huge 9-game homestand with a 5-0 win over the Nationals of Washington, D.C. Kai-Wei Tang, first career win as the Bolt guy. Matt Gage got the start. Went one clean inning. Nice little 1-2-3 17-pitch inning for Matt Gage. And then Kai-Wei Tang going 5 innings. Struck out 4, gave up 3 hits. Talk about a bounce back after a rough go of it in New York last weekend. And I'm not going to say it. Okay, I'm going to say it. It was the Nationals. But Nationals are still a big league team with some big league hitters in it. And shout out to Kai-Wei Tang, man. Giants are trying to get him into a bulk role, into a starting pitching role. And he delivered last night. So again, as I say, welcome into the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. You'll notice there's only one voice you're going to be hearing right now, and that is mine, Sam Blubman, your host of the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. And that's all it's going to be in the studio. It's not going to be just me. You got Steven Risotto. He's pressing all the buttons today, making sure that we're staying on air. He'll be chiming in as well. Zach Green, he's back there. He's producing. He's doing stuff. He cut a lot of sound this morning. Always appreciate that, Zach. Thank you. You'll be hearing from him at some point, too. That's right. That's Zach. Keep alive. I am going to throw to you at some point today. But otherwise, yeah, it's just you, me, and Giants baseball for the next 3 hours there. Thank you, Steven, giving me some of my notes from last night. And obviously it is you guys. 888-957-9570 is the number to call. Love to hear from all the Giants fans out there after a great win last night. Again, 5-0 is the final score here. And we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about on the show today. Again, there is that win, and there is that great Rafie Devers home run that we saw there in the first inning to give the Giants a 1-0 lead, and that was just a no-doubter right off the bat. 417 feet out to the deepest part of the yard into that 415 section there. 427 feet. Shorted him by 10 feet. 105 miles an hour off the bat there. Love seeing that from Rafie Devers. But I think the big highlight I want to get into to start things off was the debut of one Drew Gilbert. He was part of the Tyler Rogers trade that sent him to the New York Mets. Gilbert came back along with Blade Tidwell and Jose Butto, who also pitched last night for the Giants. He pitched a very clean 8th inning, did give up a walk, but struck out 2. And that's the Tyler Rogers trade, putting in work for the Giants last night. And we did get to see Gilbert make his big league debut, and he endeared himself pretty quickly to the fan base here. The fans were absolutely pumped to see Drew Gilbert stepping into the batter's box last night. Last few at-bats, you started hearing the fans go, Drew, 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 Drew. And Giants fans, when they notice that someone special or someone important to the future is taking the field for this team, they take notice and they get all in on these guys. And you saw it last night. Drew Gilbert had a chance to meet him before the game in the clubhouse. Seems like a very cool guy. Plays with a lot of energy, plays with a lot of swagger, plays with a lot of confidence. But then you talk to him afterwards, and it's just he just seems like a normal guy. Just a very chill dude. You know, he's not much of a bro, but he's a chill dude. You know, there is a difference between a bro and a dude. We can maybe get into that later in the show. But Drew Gilbert, again, did go 0 for 4 last night, but he did endear himself with some incredible defense, especially to end the third. I don't know if we have that. We do have that Drew Gilbert diving catch. And I just want to set this up. This is at the bottom, the top of the third inning. And Kai Wei Tang gets a couple quick outs, a couple ground balls there. And then Jacob Young for the Nationals, their starting center fielder, it's a fly ball out to right field. And it's going down the right field line. And for where I'm sitting in the press box, I can't really tell where the ball is going. And so I see Gilbert go run into that right field corner. And I see the umpire signal foul. So my first thought was, oh, okay, it's a foul ball. And then he signals out. And I'm like, oh my God, he actually caught that. And then I see the highlight. I see the replay of it on the big screen of this dude slipping on the dirt, face planting onto the ground while snagging the ball out of the air. What a great way to endear yourself to your new fan base. Here's how it sounded on NBC Sports Bay Area.
Gilbert slides. Did he catch? He caught it. Wow. And his family's going, we know that kid.
Wow, indeed. Or as I should say, wow! Yeah, that's probably a more appropriate wow for the kid, Drew Gilbert. What a great debut for him. Again, did not get the hit, his first big league hit, but again, it is his first game. The adrenaline's pumping. He's feeling probably some sort of nerves there, and he's also facing big league pitching, which, breaking news to everyone out there, facing big league pitching is very, very difficult. But starting out the game like that with some great defense there, I really like the defense that Drew Gilbert played out in right field yesterday. Right field can be a very, very difficult spot to play here at Oracle Park. I've seen many a right fielder from out of town come in and just have no idea how to play balls out there. I've seen right fielders just turn doubles off the wall into inside the park home runs, shout out Patrick Bailey, because guys just don't know how to play the ball out there. The bounces off that wall, that Levi's Landing wall, the Willie Mays wall, 24-foot high wall out there with its 7 archways. It's tough playing out there. And Gilbert had a play in the 5th inning. It was James Wood hit a double off of this is in the 4th inning. Top of the 4th inning, James Wood hit a double off the archway number 4 out there, right above the 365 sign. And those are tricky hops right there, especially that part of the wall. You can see a lot of weird, goofy, tricky hops out there. And if you're not privy to how the ball bounces out there, you're going to end up looking like a fool and giving up an extra base. And we have been very fortunate over the last few years to have Mike Yastrzemski patrolling right field. By the way, quick aside on Yastrzemski. Your boy went deep for the Royals again last night. Maybe we can find that home run at some point. I want to play all the Mike Yastrzemski home runs on the Royals here on the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. I like Yaz. I'm going to miss Yaz.
Gone.
He is gone. And so it was his defense out in right field. And there's going to be some consternation there. Luis Matos, he is only okay when it comes to defense out there. Gerard Encarnacion, which we will be talking about Gerard Encarnacion later in the show. You know, I like the one knee. I wish. Yeah, Gerard, he's got 2 knees, though. He doesn't have one. He has 2 knees. And and then he's got only 1 hamstring, though, right now. That's the problem. But Gerard Encarnacion, he's going to be on the IL for quite a while, it sounds like. So that's not an option. To have Drew Gilbert come in and just hit the ground running on defense, and he played that double off the wall by Wood very, very well. I thought he gave a little bit of space to it to allow himself to get to it because, again, you don't want to be too aggressive in those situations there because that's how you turn a double into a triple in those situations. But I really like the way that Gilbert played that ball off the wall there and then showed off an absolute cannon of an arm, getting that ball back into the infield. Again, James Wood, not a fast guy. He is a power hitter. They had him hitting leadoff last night for the Nationals ahead of C.J. Abrams. And no doubt they're trying to shake some life into him. James Wood has not homered now in 21 straight games, which saying that out loud just is a very scary thing to say because that just means he's due. So it's not like he was a speedster who's going to take that extra base, but Gilbert firing that ball back in from deep right field to second base. He was a former pitcher one time. I believe his freshman year at Tennessee, he was a pitcher. So he has a very strong arm, a very strong swing too. He had some great cuts. I had a chance to watch him during batting practice, and his first batting practice swing was a little squibber down the line. That's not that impressive. But then he started taking some really impressive cuts, really did a great job driving the ball in BP, getting comfortable with that new batter's eye, which can be a little bit tricky in the evenings at Oracle Park, but he was not fazed at all by the new digs that he was hitting in. He was not fazed at all by the new level of baseball that he was going to be playing at. And you love to see that kind of confidence from a guy, and just a very nice kid, too. Again, got a chance to chat with him before the game and after the game. Very well spoken. And the reason why, we learned later, is he's from Minnesota. And I'm pretty sure everyone from Minnesota is the most polite people you will meet outside of Canada. I mean, the fact that Minnesota borders Canada is probably where that comes from there. But Minnesota! Exactly. He's a big Joe Mauer guy, a big Michael Cudyer guy, which that makes me feel very, very old. But yeah, again, I love the defense from him. It's okay that he went 0 for 4. I'm not going to stress over that. And let's just be clear, as much as I love the debut from Drew Gilbert, one game is still just one game. Not going to make any firm declarations on what his career is going to look like based off of one game. But it was a great start. And one thing I thought that was kind of encouraging from him in terms of just how the Giants view him and how the coaching staff views him, in his last at-bat of the night, in the 8th inning, he had a 3-0 count, and there's a part of me thinking, I wonder if this guy would actually try and swing here. And he did. He swung on 3-0. It's because he did get a green light. Most hitters, well, first, this was always my go-to when I played baseball poorly. Back in the day, if I have a 3-0 count, I'm not swinging the bat. I'm taking this pitch off. And that's just how I did it. Some hitters are like that. Some hitters like to be patient. Some hitters don't like to swing at 3-0. Some hitters like to get a green light on 3-0. And I thought that was pretty impressive that in his first game as a Giant, the coaching staff, Matt Williamson at third base, gave him the green light. If you see a pitch you like here on 3-0, give it a whirl. See what you can do. He whiffed it, but it's the fact that the option was there for him is the positive takeaway. And as the Giants here in the last 2 months of the season, post-trade deadline, 4 games out of a wild card spot, 59-57 is their record, 2 games above 500. Down here in this final stretch, and this is going to be the big question I want to throw at Giants fans today. Maybe we can get a YouTube poll going here. I want to make our YouTubers do a little bit of work. What do you really want to see these next 2 months? What do you care about more? Do you care about the winning, or do you care about the development? Oh, I'd like to see both. Yeah, no, I know you want to see both, but that's how these things work. You have to pick one or the other. I'm pigeonholing you guys here. Hey, maybe you can do both. If you can get performances like that on defense from Drew Gilbert, if you could get pitching performances like that from Kai-Wei Tang, maybe you can figure out a way to nickel and dime together a surprise playoff run here. So I want to hear from Giants fans. 888-957-9570 is the number. I'll take any and all Giants takes today. What do you want to see these next 2 months? What do you care about? What are you excited about? Do you want to see the winning? Do you want to see the development? You got thoughts on Drew Gilbert. You got thoughts on Kai-Wei Tang. You got thoughts on anybody else on this team. Carson Wisenhunt will be on the bump today as the Giants try to take Game 2 against the Nationals. That is a 1 o'clock start today. What are you expecting to see from him? What do you expect from Bob Melvin these next 2 months? We're going to be hearing from him quite a bit on this show. He had some great lines in his post-game last night. How do we feel about the bullpen starting rotation? If you have a thought on Giants baseball, I want to hear it. Because again, it's just me all morning long. Got a couple guys in the back. I'll hear from them in a little bit as well. Really quick, though, I do want to shout out those who are watching on YouTube. Brought to you by First NorCal Credit Union. For a low-rate auto loan to play online, or just ask for First NorCal financing at the dealer, as we are coming to you live from the Laughing Monk Studios. Laughing Monk, righteously brewed in San Francisco. Shout out to all of our friends down at Laughing Monk. And thanks for hosting the morning roast, as well as Steiny and Evan on Thursday morning. I, unfortunately, was not able to get down to Laughing Monk. I was given the opportunity to. And, our boss, Matt Nahigian's like, I wasn't able to get you a hotel room down there. But if you want to drive down there in the morning, you could do that. And I thought about driving down to Sunnyvale at 4 a.m. I was like, I'll kick it with Carter in the studio, and I'll let you babysit the Joes down there. And luckily, I had San Jose Jazz fan come by to help out as well, and even recorded a rejoin. So that was nice to see Jazz fan doing that for the morning roast. So shout out to our friends down there at Laughing Monk. I am still thinking about that absolutely delicious prime rib. And if you want more time at Laughing Monk, 95.7 The Game will be there quite a bit over the next few months because football season is starting up. 49ers do have a football game tonight. But during the regular season, we're going to be doing our pregame shows. Evan Giddings and the great Lorenzo Neal, they'll be doing the pregame shows down there. And we're going to be partying it up a little bit. We were talking about kind of what we're going to be doing for these tailgates and these pregames in one of our meetings this week. I'm not going to give away any details. I might have given away already just by saying that we're working on stuff. But we got some special stuff that we'll be planning for fans who come down there and hang out with us at Laughing Monk Brewing. So get down there to Sunnyvale all year during football season, or at least for the home games. I don't think we're going to be there for the away games because you guys won't be there for the away games. Who's going to Levi's for an away game? That's not how it works. So come down, see us at Laughing Monk all football season long. So again, want to hear from all the Giants fans out there, and really go behind the glass a little bit because I want to get the thoughts of Steven and Zach. You guys got to see your first taste of Drew Gilbert. We got to see the bounce back from Kai-Wei Tang. I want to start with Kai-Wei Tang, Steven, because you were producing Willard and Dibs yesterday, and I caught a snippet of that show as I was driving into San Francisco for the pregame stuff. And while they were talking, Niners training camp, Mark Grandy interjected that, hey, Drew Gilbert's going to be in the lineup tonight. And so that forced Willard and Dibs onto a 20-minute diatribe about the Giants. And Willard, one of the most optimistic Giants fans here at this station. In fact, I'm going to try and get him on Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys in the next week or so we can talk optimistic Giants baseball. Willard was, how can I say this gently, just not in on Kai-Wei Tang, it seemed like. I don't want to twist his words or anything, but I believe one of the lines he had was something to the effect of, if the goal is to win games, why is Kai-Wei Tang pitching? Am I off base on that one, Rizzo? Is that kind of more or less what he said?
Not off base. That is more or less what he said. And it makes sense. I mean, Kai-Wei Tang was kind of just not really giving Giants fans or even anybody in the organization anything to write home about in his Giants career professionally. And the last few months in Sacramento have looked good, and I think the organization thinks he's earned this. And the crazy thing is, he was DFA'd at the end of last year, and they added him back onto the 40-man roster, and he's getting his opportunity. And for me, he was the player of the game. He was the player of the game. He pitched excellent. Command has been an issue with him in the past. It didn't look like it was an issue last night. The stuff was there. He got outs in big spots when he needed it. You mentioned that bases loaded jam later in the game. I mean, he was very encouraging. And I think when you see somebody that encouraging on a pitching staff that needs it the most, you want to see more of them. So I would want to see more of Kai-Wei Tang for the Giants.
What I really liked about a lot of what we saw from Tang, and I'm curious to see how long this will hold up. To be honest, I see him as more of a middle reliever than a starter, but I think that will sort itself out in time. He's going to be used as a starter right now, at least till Landon Roop comes back, and then we'll see where things go from there. But he was getting it done with a lot of off-speed stuff. I'm looking at his pitching breakdown now. A lot of sliders, sweepers, however you want to call those pitches. Some pitchers call them sweep. Some pitchers call their sweeper a slider. Some of them call their slider a sweeper. Depends on the movement, and the stat tracking technology hasn't been able to quite figure out the difference between the two. But he had a great pitch mix here. Looking at his mix up here, a lot of sweepers and changeups. Great with the off-speed stuff. He had guys flailing at that changeup, and I believe the last pitch he threw last night in the top of the seventh inning. No, sorry, it's top of the sixth inning. He got Brady House to strike out on a sweeper that I went up to one of the guys in the press box. His name's Jeremiah. He's with Sports Radio Service. I chat him up a lot. But the Sports Radio Service guys, great group of guys. We're going to have one of the Sports Radio Service guys on later in the show, a good friend of mine, Steven Ruderman, who covers the Giants for Sports Radio Service. But he also does a lot of coverage for the Sacramento River Cats. And the reason we're going to talk to Ruderman is because of all the people I know in baseball, he has had the most eyes on Bryce Eldridge this summer. And I want to talk about Eldridge during the show as well. So we're going to hear from him. But I went up to Jeremiah and it's like, dude, I got to go take a shower because I just feel so filthy after watching that sweeper there.
And it was a 7-pitch inning to top off a 7-pitch inning.
Very efficient night from Kai Tang. And the big difference, Bob said this after the game. In fact, we can just hear from Bob himself on the biggest difference between Kai Tang in this start and his last start. Really quick, actually. Pause. Rewind. Before I get into what Bob said about what was different about Kai's start this time versus his last outing against the Mets, I do want to recap what happened against the Mets, which was a lot of not good. He went about 3 1/3 innings, gave up either 4 or 5 runs. Can't remember off the top of my head. I could pull the box score up, but the point is he got roughed up against the Mets last weekend, which is why a lot of fans were, I think I'm out on Kai Tang. I don't think that's the guy. But again, I don't want to make this out to, that was the Mets and this is the Nationals. I'm not making it out to be that black and white here. But let's not also forget last Saturday this was Sunday. It was Saturday. I don't know what days of the week are. It was last Saturday. The Giants lost that game 12-6. Kodai Senga, who came in with an ERA south of 2, he also got roughed up a little bit that day. Which leads me to believe that seeing as the game took place in Queens, New York, in the summer, ball might have just been jumping that day. It happens. Sometimes it's those hot New York summers, the ball flies a little bit more. Kodai Senga went 4 innings, gave up 4 runs that day to this Giants lineup. And Kai Tang also got roughed up by a very, very good New York Metropolitans lineup. And so maybe that's a bit of a rough way to kind of gauge whether or not Kai Tang could actually pitch at this level by basing it off of a rough start on a warm day. So I got the box score here. 5 runs, 3 1/3 innings pitched for Kai Tang last week, Saturday, against New York Mets. That's a big ask for a young pitcher like that, making his first career start. And the ball was flying that day. Last night, in the cooler temperatures of Oracle Park, I believe it was kind of warm at first, but it was still 68 or so around first pitch, which is a lot cooler than let's see if I can find the weather for that game last week. It was 79, partly cloudy in New York for that game, but you also got to factor in the humidity as well. There was not as much humidity last night. This is all to say that just a much better situation for Kai Tang last night. A lesser lineup, better pitching conditions, and just an overall better feeling. Coming back home after that 6-game road trip, they went 4-2. And so that's kind of setting the stage there for what he did last week versus what happened last night. And here's what Bob Melvin had to say about what was different about Kai Tang's start last night versus what he did a week ago today.
Strikes. He's throwing more strikes, and he's using his fastball enough to get off his breaking stuff. His breaking stuff's really good. So for me, it's just being a lot more efficient, throwing the ball over the plate more. What did he walk 1 today? Yeah, it's good. Throwing strikes.
Throwing strikes is a great way to get outs, guys. I don't know if we know that, but now we do. And that's what you just love to see. You love to see a guy mastering the command, getting his pitches in the zone, and just making hitters look absolutely foolish. So a great bounce back there from Tang to go along with the great debut from Drew Gilbert. And I saw a comment in the YouTube chat here. I want to see if I can get it. It was from Instant. That was an incredible catch, or did he make a routine catch look hard? Looks like he tripped on his route to the ball. It's a little bit of both. We're talking with Gilbert after the game, and you know what? Let's hear from Drew Gilbert on what went down with that catch.
I think you're kind of reading the hitter just so you get an open angle from right field. It's a right-handed hitter. Kind of see that he was getting beat a little bit, so I was able to get a better jump based off that. But I almost lost my footing on the dirt once I went over the line, so thankfully I was able to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, and I did, but you did have a beat on it, but yeah, it gets a little slippery out there sometimes. That's why we wear spikes. But again, looks really cool. I didn't get a chance to watch SportsCenter last night, but I'm assuming it was in the SC top 10. So if you can't get your first hit in your first game, you can at least make the highlight reel in your first game. So I will definitely take that. So we got a lot of great Giants baseball to talk about today. Again, we were just gushing about Kai Tang and Drew Gilbert here to start the show. There were some other guys on the team who had great nights too last night. Want to talk about that. And then again, the big question of the day is, what do you care about more the rest of the way? Do you want to see this team win baseball games and do everything you can to accomplish that goal, make a playoff run? Or do the wins and losses, are those inconsequential to you? You just want to see guys get called up, see what's on the farm, and see what next year looks like. Bob Melvin had a great line last night. We'll play that on the other side. Mitch, Skills, I see you guys there. I'm going to get you guys first when we come back from the break. It is the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap with Sam Lubman, your host. Steven Risotto, Zach Green behind the glass. You'll be hearing from them as well. 888-957-9570 is the number to call. You can also text us on the Boxer and Gerson Work Injury Attorneys text line. All that brought to you by Fremont Bank, here for you, here for good.
Don't let pneumococcal pneumonia break your stride. If you're 50 or older, you're at increased risk. So be proactive with Capvaxive pneumococcal 21-valent conjugate vaccine to help protect against invasive pneumococcal disease and pneumonia caused by certain types of pneumococcal bacteria. Capvaxive helps protect against the strains of bacteria that cause about 30% more IPD cases than any other pneumococcal conjugate vaccine in adults over 50, according to national-level CDC stats. Regional variations may exist. Don't get Capvaxive if you're allergic to the vaccine or its ingredients. Tell your doctor if you have a weakened immune system. Common side effects include injection site reactions, feeling tired, headache, muscle aches, and fever. Capvaxive does not protect against all strains. For more information, call 1-800-927-8888 or visit capvaxive.com. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Capvaxive. Need help paying for your Merck vaccine? Visit merckhelps.com. Sponsored by Merck.
When you own your own business, you own every decision. Catch the red eye or take the 6 a.m.
Make a new hire or promote internally.
Celebrate a win with the toast at the gate or unwind at the lounge.
Big props to this team.
Some decisions are a win-win. Like earning 8 times points on Chase Travel. Introducing Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business. With $2,500 in annual value, it's the business card that gives back all you put in. Visit chase.com/reserve business to learn more. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member of FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
If you have back-to-school shopping to do, then you should make Macy's your first stop. That's because your Macy's store has back-to-school essentials at incredible prices, like complete looks from Epic Threads, Levi's, and Abercrombie Kids. Character outfits from Hello Kitty, Mickey, and Minnie Mouse. Plus, backpacks from JanSport and High Sierra. The best part? Get it all for 25 to 50% off. That's right, up to half off. But hurry in. These back-to-school deals end Sunday at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
We finally switched to T-Mobile because with them, we can be connected here and there.
Let's watch a movie.
And we have Netflix included to enjoy our favorite shows and movies.
¿Qué tal esta? Bacanísima, pero ya la vi.
Now the hard part is getting them to agree on a movie.
Switch today and get the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 that is so much more than a flip phone, all on the best network in the U.S. Visit a store, T-Mobile.com, or call 1-800-T-Mobile. 1-800-T-Mobile. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla. Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Oh, Downy in the rinse change. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
What would we do without childcare providers? At Coco Kids, we value your impact. Coco Kids supports you with free resources, referrals, and more. Visit cocokids.org today to learn how we can support your childcare business.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Lowe's knows when you're looking for reliability, the right brand makes all the difference. And now, Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retailer for the Whirlpool water treatment line, including their Wi-Fi softener, under-sink filtration system, and more. With Whirlpool's proven performance and our everyday low prices, better tasting, better quality water is within reach. Shop pro-trusted brands like Whirlpool and more, in-store or online. Lowe's, we help, you save.
America's favorite car show returns to the Bay Area with the crown jewel of hot rodding. Don't miss the 38th West Coast Nationals Good Guys Car Show, August 22nd through 24th at Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton. For your chance to win tickets, visit 957thegame.com.
Now back to the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap on 95.7 The Game.
There is a part of me that will never die.
Oh, Steiny. If we could only be so lucky. By the way, Steiny brought something up yesterday, and Risotto, you were on the board when he did it. Steiny had an idea yesterday that I didn't hate, which is ironic because the idea is steeped in hate, which, I mean, it's Matt Steinmetz. One of his ideas not steeped in hate. I want to get into that in a minute. It is the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. Sam Lubman here, Steven Risotto, Zach Green behind the glass. You'll be hearing from them throughout the night, or throughout the morning, sorry. Giants last night got a 5-0 win over the Washington Nationals, 59-57. Big win to start a 9-game homestand here. And we're talking about what you want to see from the Giants the rest of these next 2 months here. What do you care about? Do you care about winning? Or do you care about development? What do you want to see more? What do you want to prioritize? So I want to hear from Giants fans on that. Can this team potentially make a playoff run? Bob Melvin said some stuff last night that, you know, it's no secret. They're still trying to make a run. They still believe that this team has the capability to be a postseason team, despite being, quote unquote, sellers at the trade deadline. So we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to Steiny's brilliant get rich quick scheme in a minute as well. But first things first, want to go out to the lines. One of our favorites, Mitch in New Jersey. How you doing today, Mitch? You're on the wrap. What do you got for us today, my friend?
How are you, Sam? Thanks again. Good show. I like your shows in the morning. It's good to listen.
Thank
Either
you.
way,
Appreciate that.
Love it. And same thing with Zach there, too. I didn't get his name mixed up with Steve. That's my fault. It's me, not you. We still have a nice shot. And we were a pretty decent line if you really look at it. And this guy gets somebody a big fish over the winter. But I'd like to see what we have in our AAA, AA systems. Get Tang. I want to see him as a starter. He's a big boy. He's a big fella. I want to see him become another starter, of course. Or three good stars. They're going to get old someday. So I'm interested in what he's got. And I know it's just Washington. It's kind of strange. I see they have James Wood lead off. and he's really trying to get his game up, but he can't carry one play, can't carry a team for the whole. That's pretty obvious there.
No.
Anyway, we're on the borderline. I think Chicago has kind of fallen, and same to the Mets, so we still have a shot.
Yeah, so it's, again, they are 4 games out of the 6th and final playoff spot right now, Mitch. And you talk about, can they get someone going? Right now, the teams ahead of them are struggling. All the teams ahead of them in the wild card race lost last night, Mitch. The Reds, the Mets, the Padres, the Cubs. The Mets, they are in a free fall right now. The Reds, they've lost 3 straight. Giants are a half game behind them. They might be able to take over the 7th spot in the National League, so to speak, with a win and a Reds loss today. But you mentioned you need someone in this lineup. One guy can't carry the team, but one guy can really rejuvenate a lineup and give it a lot of life that can make things easier for the rest of this lineup. And for that, I'm talking about Rafie Devers. He had that great home run last night. Did you see the home run? You watched the game, Mitch. What did you think of that home run from Devers last night?
It was nice. I mean, he's a pound stroke. I mean, he's no William Covey. But
no one's a William Covey.
He lives up to his contract. Lives up to his capabilities. We got ourselves a slugger, a first baseman DH. Thank God for the DH that we can always fall on.
Yeah.
And, I appreciate you taking my call and everything. You have a nice weekend, and I'll listen to your comments off here. Thanks
awesome.
Again.
Appreciate you, Mitch. Have a great rest of your weekend as well. That was Mitch in New Jersey. And, again, that home run from Rafie Devers, man. Maybe we could play it here in a minute. Do I have it here on my board? I do. Here is that home run again. We came in with it. Here it is again.
Devers, high drive. Right center field. Out of here.
My goodness, indeed. Again, Dwayne Kuiper, Mike Krukow on the call there. And again, 105 off the bat. Went 427 feet. Just an absolute no doubt shot from the Giants' first baseman / DH. And it just seems like more and more and more he is getting comfortable. He had that absolute moonshot last Sunday in New York. Went into the 3rd deck of Citi Field. Reminded people of another home run that a lefty slugger once hit in a Giants uniform in the comfy confines of New York. And, of course, I'm talking about that big home run that Barry Bonds had against, oh, God, I want to say it was Ted Lilly. Is that
it was Ted Lilly.
Oh, look at me knowing stuff. Off Ted Lilly in 2002 at the big ballpark in the Bronx. Shades of that one, though, obviously, this one being against the Mets, and it's, Rafie Devers, not Barry Bonds. And as much as I like Rafie, he's no Barry Bonds, which, by the way, we're going to talk about this later in the show. 2 days ago was the, okay, it's going to be really hard for me to say, 18th anniversary, okay, said it, of Barry Bonds hitting home run 756. Bonds stands alone. 18 years. Oh, God, I feel old. Just saying that. I was actually at that game. If you were at that game as well, would love to hear from you. Oh, man, 18 years. Feels like it was just yesterday. Man, I hate how time passes. I need to pick me up now after feeling old, so I'm going to go to one of my favorites. It's Skills in Vallejo. Skills, what did you think of that game last night? Who impressed you more? Was it the performance of Kai Tang, or was it the defensive performance of one Drew Gilbert?
I would go with Tang. Tang surprised me. I did not think once he got into the game, I did not think for a second he was going to end up going 5 strong innings. And especially when that 5th inning came around and he got in the jam, and he was able to get out of that, a bases loaded 0-out jam. With a little help from his defense, he gets out of that. I was really impressed. I'm not going to say he's going to be the next Logan Webb or anything like that, but he showed me something. And you're speaking to Drew Gilbert, and it's always good. You make a good impression, you make a good play in your major league debut. I'm just sad that it came at the expense of Daniel Johnson, my fellow Vallejoan, who I've been telling people is my nephew the past 2 months, which is unfortunate, but these things happen in baseball.
I see the resemblance.
But Gilbert, please repeat that, Sam?
Oh, I see the resemblance.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt. Yeah, definitely. Maybe he'll be back someday if he stays in the organization. He may want to stay in the organization.
Hey, he could clear waivers. He could clear waivers and get outrighted to AAA. So it is possible.
Oh yeah, definitely. And as far as Gilbert, he wasn't much match for Jake Irvin's changeup last night, but it's his first game, butterflies, all that. He'll be fine. A couple of guys I want to mention from last night's game, if I could.
Go ahead.
Dom Smith is still red hot. Patrick Bailey had a little sliver to bring a run home. Good for him. But Rafie Devers, you just mentioned him. I want to highlight. That was a grown man's home run. Right center field at Oracle Park is not easy to conquer. It would have taken me probably 2 swings of the bat to hit a ball that far. And Devers very, very impressive shot to bat of Devers. If I could, Sam, I'd like to speak about a couple of former Giants before I jump off the line.
Oh, absolutely, Skills. The floor is yours, man. I might just have you host the rest of the show at this point.
Oh, man. That's if you want the show to be canceled. I'm sure you don't. But,
I could do that on my own just fine. All right, what do you got, Skills?
Okay, just real quick. Lamont Wade got cut by the Angels last week, so it wasn't just us messing with him, apparently. It wasn't just being a Giant that was affecting this thing. And then Alex Wood retired yesterday. He was, and this is hard for me to say about any prominent ex-Dodger. This is hard for me to say, but he was a good Giant, especially in that 2021 season. He really balled out that year.
Oh, he was money in that 21 season. I think they won like almost all of his starts or something ridiculous. I mean, they won a lot of games that year, but yeah, he was an interesting cat there, Skills. So thanks a lot for the call, unless you got some other guys that you want to get into.
I pretty much, I could go on for another 45 minutes if you want it, but
sure, dude, it's literally just me today, Skills, so I am giving callers a lot of leash today. So you go ahead, man. If you got takes, I want to hear them.
Well, I'll come back. I'll come back to what you said earlier in the show. When you started the show, you made a reference to the Giants winning against the Nationals, which, basically just because they're not a great team, don't take it, they're still a major league team, right? Now, these Nationals, this is not Trey Turner. This is not Max Scherzer. It's not even Howie Kendrick. But this is a major league team. And Josh Bell's had some games against the Giants in the past. James Wood, not James Woods, good Lord, is one of the best young players coming up in the NL right now. So I don't take any, especially after we just lost series sweeps at home to the Marlins and to the Pirates. I'm not taking any win over anyone lightly at all. And that's all in on that, Sam. Have a good day.
Awesome. Great stuff there, Skills. Great points there. And, yeah, a lot to take away from that call there. I want to work backwards there because Skills said something, and I completely buried this lead, so shame on me for that. But last night was the Giants' first win at Oracle Park in their last 9 tries. They had an 8-game losing streak. You had those 2 against the Dodgers, got swept by the Mets, got swept by the Buccos. By Buccos, I mean Pirates, not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And, yeah, that was pretty ugly. I mean, there was that Saturday loss against the Dodgers. Shohei bets on baseball. Ohtani was on the mound that day. Allegedly, he bets on baseball. And Giants were not able to get anything going against him. They lose that game. Heartbreaking fashion. That Sunday loss, I'm still not over that. When Rafie Devers came up in the bottom of the 9th inning, with a chance to end it, hit an absolute scorcher to James Outman for the final out of the inning. And I thought if there was ever a moment where Rafie Devers was going to have his welcome to the Giants moment, that was it. And then the Dodgers used a couple of little squibbers there to win it against Spencer Bivens. And, oh, man, I felt so bad for Spencer Bivens after that game. Me and it was Curtis Pachelka of the Bay Area News Group. We went up to slowly to approach Bivens after that. Oh, man, our guy was steamed. He was big steamed. It was like, you know what? I understand, Spencer. That one, you got screwed on that one. That was a tough loss. Then you got those 3 again embarrassing losses against the Mets. That heartbreaker on Saturday where Patrick Bailey hits what could have been a game-tying hit, gets snagged by Pete Alonso. You got those rough games against the Pirates where the offense decided to take 3 games off. Like, you never want to have long losing streaks at home. So getting that win last night, getting rid of that, 8-game losing streak at Oracle Park. That is gross. Thank God they ended that last night against the Nationals because, wow, that would have put so many people in a bad headspace if that had been the case. You also talked about Rafie Devers. I want to talk about Rafie a little bit because last night, first off, again, there's the home run he had last night. Last night might have been one of his best games he's had as a Giant so far. Partly because he did have a great night last night. Partly because the options to choose from are not very robust right now. And I'm not saying that the Rafie Devers trade has been a bust. I think he's hitting 250-ish in that range since the trade went down, as I pull the numbers up right here. Yes, he is hitting, since the trade, 227 since the trade went down. He's hitting 250 since the All-Star break, so he is picking it up a little bit. He is getting more and more comfortable at the plate, which you like to see. And I refuse to believe that Devers is just never going to come around. Everyone keeps saying, we all know he's good. He's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. Look at the back of his baseball card. But you can only say that for so long before it starts losing meaning. And over this last week, more and more, you're starting to see Rafie feel more and more comfortable on this team. Now, I know he's putting up better numbers on the road than at home. And as we all know, it's clearly because of the ballpark dimensions. It's not just because of the dimensions. I do think, adjusting to a new place to hit is a struggle. He is at a pitcher-friendly ballpark after leaving a very cozy ballpark in Fenway where he was able to bounce balls off the monster. He had that short wall out in right field. That wall's like 3 feet high or something at Fenway Park. So very easy to clear it. It's definitely been a learning process for him on how to hit at Oracle Park. But he's feeling more and more comfortable every day. And if we're talking about, can the Giants make a run for a wild card spot? Because I think the division's out of reach right now. Unless the Dodgers have an absolute meltdown, Giants are right now they're 8 games back of the Dodgers right now. They do have 6 games left against the Dodgers, so there's time to make hay there on that one. But right now the focus is on the wild card. And if the Giants are going to make a move in that wild card, they need Rafie to be the guy that he was with the Red Sox. They need him to be that big bopper. And every week, I feel like he is getting more and more comfortable with this team. He's acclimating into this team more. He's feeling more at home in his new ballpark. You're starting to understand why everyone's saying Rafie's going to be fine, because you're starting to see that come together. And last night, he had probably one of his best defensive games, if not his best defensive game, since moving to first base. And this is a guy that, I was kind of worried about what he was going to look like on defense. And because he was an adventure on defense while he was in Boston. Not a great defensive third baseman. And moving him to first base, especially when he's dealing with a groin issue, especially when he's dealing with a bulging disc issue. Those are 2 issues that just dude, if you're dealing with that stuff, stay the bleepity bleep bleep out of the field. I do not need you fielding ground balls or doing any sort of extra activity that could make these minor injuries something more where you have to lose time. Because even if he's struggling at the plate, I'd rather him struggle at the plate and work through slumps to start not struggling at the plate than sitting on the IL. That does no good for nobody except for him to get better. But last night, he had probably one of his best defensive nights. Started a great double play. What was it? I believe it was in the 4th inning or the 3rd inning. Started a great double play here as I look through my notes of when everything happened. You had the old 3-6 double play at one point. But then he had there was the bases loaded play in the top of the 5th. And that's where Rafie really showed some of his best defense. So you got the bases loaded there in the top of the 5th inning. Kai Wei-Tang gets into some trouble there. Gives up the leadoff walk. Broken back signal from Robert Hassel. And then you got a slow roller to second. Casey Schmidt keeps it from going to the outfield, which prevented Josh Bell from coming around to score. So you got bases loaded, no outs. And Jose Tena hits a first pitch grounder right to first base. Rafie stabs at it without even hesitating, fires to home plate to get that lead out, to get Josh Bell at home, get the force out, prevent the run from scoring, keep a 2-0 game a 2-0 game. Just very heads up, no hesitation, no stopping, just bang, bang, exactly how you want those plays to look. And that helped set up 2 pitches later, the Jacob Young double play that got Kai Wei-Tang out of that inning. Now, Devers did have another double play he turned earlier in the game where, again, grounded to first, steps on the bag, throws to Damas at second. They got that lead runner there, too. And what I liked about those plays is they weren't necessarily flashy plays. He's not like he's showing off incredible range there. It's not like he's making these diving stops or anything like that. He's not winning any gold gloves anytime soon. But what I really liked about those plays was they looked like they were done by a guy who's been playing first base for a long time. And that's all I really need. I just need consistent, good, fundamental defense from Rafie Devers at first base. And last night, we've seen the work that he's put in. Rizzo, you've watched him take ground balls during games. I remember there was one day where, I was standing, I think it was the day where we dragged Spadoni down to the game, that Friday night Dodger game. I'm watching Chapman and Adames field grounders on the third base side. You meandered over to the first base side to get the Devers angle. And recap for us what you saw that night from Devers at first base.
Yeah, there was baseballs being thrown everywhere. I mean, I was standing right behind first base when he was taking reps off the fungo from Matt Williams, and there was balls that were going under his glove, over his glove, to the left of him, to the right of him. And I think the bottom line is none of that really matters because it is a process. And this is a guy who's never played there before, and as much as people think that it's just such a simple move to move someone from third base to first base, it's really not. Now, the foundational stuff is there. The fundamental stuff is there. The ability to field a ground ball is there and have the instinct of knowing what you're going to do with the baseball is there. All of that's there. But it's just a matter of learning a new position and learning the instincts that come with it and putting on a different glove and knowing when to hold the runner, knowing when to get off the runner at first, and all of that mental stuff. And it's supposed to be a process. It really is. And I think he looks a lot better. And I texted you last night, Sam Lubin. I said that was probably, in my mind at the time, and I still hold on to that, the most important play in the game. That saved that inning. It changed the trajectory of the inning. Like you said, it set up that double play ball from the next hitter. It was a huge play, and I think plays like that he's going to keep racking up periodically as he adjusts to first base.
Exactly. Very well said, Steven. And a couple great comments here in the YouTube chat. Instant one. Yup, Devers doesn't need to be a Gold Glover. Pete Alonso's defense is all right. He's treasured for the offense. I want the same for Devers. No. It's true. Devers made more than a few noteworthy defensive plays at first in the few times that he has been there so far. Again, yeah, he's never going to be a web gem guy. He's not going to be an SC top 10 guy. But he's got to just play good fundamental defense. If you could just do that more often than you don't, then yeah, you're going to be just fine at first base. No one's going to be having any issues with what you're doing over there. And all the consternation that I once had about him playing first base, gone, out the window. Yeah, Steven, he's getting the drop ready. Here it comes. There it is. Bob Melvin, what did you think about how Rafie Devers has looked at first base?
You watch him work, especially these night games. He's working, and then he's taking his batting practice and he's going back out there again. So whether it's picks in the dirt, whether it's turns to second, you try to create as many plays as he hasn't seen, and he's working through all of them, and you just see him more and more comfortable every day. You can play third base in the big leagues like he has. You're going to be able to play first pretty well. But it's just all the different plays, cutoffs and relays, stuff like that he hasn't been through before. But he's looking pretty good over there right now.
And again, those are big words from a guy who right before the All-Star break was saying, Bob Melvin, he said straight up, like, there's going to be some rough days from Rafie Devers at first base, and we are prepared for that. And so far, nothing jumps out to me. Steve and Zach, if there's a moment for you, I can't think of a moment that Rafie's had on defense where it's just like, oh man, you really screwed that one up. Like, I don't think he's had any awful moments like that. I mean, there might be plays he's had where it's just like, yeah, Brandon Belt probably makes that play. But I can't recall a moment where I'm just like, oh, there's that awful Rafie defense we knew about. Like, it has not been an awful exercise. I don't know, if there's anything that you guys can remember off the top of your head.
It has not been a headline yet. It has not been one of those stories where it says Rafael Devers' 8th inning error leads Giants to loss. I guess he wouldn't lead the Giants to a loss. Causes Giants. No, that hasn't happened yet, but there's been a few times early on where maybe he could have gotten an extra out if he didn't bobble a ball or something along those lines. But it hasn't been anything costly, and I don't think we would see anything like that.
I think the worst it got was last Saturday night, where he kicked the ball to first base, but still made the play, which I've never seen a guy kick a baseball to the base before. And that's one of those ones you can laugh and smile about it because he made the play, but that's the worst. If that's the worst play he's had at first base, a play where he kicked the ball and still got the out, you'll take that because A, you got the out, and B, you gave me a reason to laugh and joke the next day.
New glove.
There you go. So we are up against it here. 888-957-9570 is the number. Want to hear from all the Giants fans out there. Before we go to the break, though, a couple things. Did you know that coming up tonight at 5:30, Steven Risotto and Zach Green, the Valkyries are taking on the LA Sparks. Kelsey Plum, Cameron Brink. You can hear that game right here on 95.7 The Game and on the Valkyries channel on the Odyssey app.
Yay!
Just download the app and search Valkyries. You can also watch the game on KPIX. Pregame starts at around 5. All that brought to you by the San Francisco Sheriff's Office. Your future begins here. And then after you're done listening to the game or watching the game, maybe you're dual screening it because the 49ers are playing tonight as well.
I mean, bring it on, man.
Seriously, Jan in Mountain View, she's going to be dual screening it tonight.
Oh, heck yes.
And Niners play at 5:30, so while you're dual screening that, when that game ends, flip on 95.7 The Game because Mark Grandy is going to have your first 49ers post-game show of this 2025 football season.
Yeah, I would want to be in Grandy's spot right now.
You know what, Steiny, you just reminded me. I still need to talk about your get-rich-quick scheme that you came up with yesterday. I think we'll dive into that a little bit on the other side. So tonight, Valkyries at 5:30. Then after the Niner game, join Mark Grandy, who was supposed to be doing the show with me this morning, but I guess he's rather talk football than baseball. So catch Mark Grandy on the 49ers postgame show tonight. I guess the red and gold postgame show is what we call it. That'll be tonight after the final whistle. All that's going to be here on 95.7. It's all brought to you by Fremont Bank, here for you, here for good.
Don't let pneumococcal pneumonia break your stride. If you're 50 or older, you're at increased risk. So be proactive with Capvaxive pneumococcal 21-valent conjugate vaccine to help protect against invasive pneumococcal disease and pneumonia caused by certain types of pneumococcal bacteria. Capvaxive helps protect against the strains of bacteria that cause about 30% more IPD cases than any other pneumococcal conjugate vaccine in adults over 50, according to national-level CDC stats. Regional variations may exist. Don't get Capvaxive if you're allergic to the vaccine or its ingredients. Tell your doctor if you have a weakened immune system. Common side effects include injection site reactions, feeling tired, headache, muscle aches, and fever. Capvaxive does not protect against all strains. For more information, call 1-800-927-8888 or visit capvaxive.com. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Capvaxive. Need help paying for your Merck vaccine? Visit merckhelps.com. Sponsored by Merck.
When you own your own business, you own every decision. Catch the red eye or take the 6 a.m.
Make a new hire or promote internally.
Celebrate a win with the toast at the gate or unwind at the lounge. Big props to this team. Some decisions are a win-win. Like earning 8 times points on Chase Travel. Introducing Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business. With $2,500 in annual value, it's the business card that gives back all you put in. Visit chase.com/reserve business to learn more. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member of FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
If you have back-to-school shopping to do, then you should make Macy's your first stop. That's because your Macy's store has back-to-school essentials at incredible prices, like complete looks from Epic Threads, Levi's, and Abercrombie Kids. Character outfits from Hello Kitty, Mickey, and Minnie Mouse. Plus, backpacks from JanSport and High Sierra. The best part? Get it all for 25 to 50% off. That's right, up to half off. But hurry in. These back-to-school deals end Sunday at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
We finally switched to T-Mobile because with them, we can be connected here and there.
Let's watch a movie.
And we have Netflix included to enjoy our favorite shows and movies.
¿Qué tal esta? Bacanísima, pero ya la vi.
Now the hard part is getting them to agree on a movie.
Switch today and get the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 that is so much more than a flip phone, all on the best network in the U.S. Visit a store, T-Mobile.com, or call 1-800-T-Mobile. 1-800-T-Mobile. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla. Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats. plus fast, dependable delivery. So he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Oh, Downy in the rinse change. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
What would we do without childcare providers? At Coco Kids, we value your impact. Coco Kids supports you with free resources, referrals, and more. Visit cocokids.org today to learn how we can support your childcare business.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Lowe's knows when you're looking for reliability, the right brand makes all the difference. And now, Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retailer for the Whirlpool water treatment line, including their Wi-Fi softener, under-sink filtration system, and more. With Whirlpool's proven performance and our everyday low prices, better tasting, better quality water is within reach. Shop pro-trusted brands like Whirlpool and more, in-store or online. Lowe's, we help, you save.
America's favorite car show returns to the Bay Area with the crown jewel of hot rodding. Don't miss the 38th West Coast Nationals Good Guys Car Show, August 22nd through 24th at Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton. For your chance to win tickets, visit 957thegame.com.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
Here we go. Gilbert slides. Did he catch? He caught it! Wow. And his family's going, we know that kid.
Now back to the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. The best Giants talk in the Bay on 95.7 The Game.
Bow, bow, bow. Hell of a catch there by Drew Gilbert. Dwayne Kuiper, Mike Krukow on the call there. Giants 5-0 winners over the Washington Nationals last night. Drew Gilbert goes 0 for 4, but again, does make that great catch. Drew, tell us about how that catch felt.
I think you're kind of reading the hitter just so you get an open angle from right field. It's a right-handed hitter. Kind of see that he was getting beat a little bit, so I was able to get a better jump based off that. But I almost lost my footing on the dirt once I went over the line, so thankfully I was able to hold on to the ball.
Thankfully, he was able to hold on to the ball. Drew, what was it like getting back in the dugout with your teammates after that catch?
Yeah, it's the best part. It's what you want to do every single night when you come to the ballpark, right? That's the goal no matter what you're doing individually or whatnot. You want to be doing that, right? Celebrating the end of the game with your teammates because you want to win the game. That's always the goal, no matter if you're a rookie, 10-year vet, you want to win. So we want to win, And we're happy to get a win tonight, but at the end of the day, we got to do it again tomorrow.
You can tell he's from Minnesota. You don't really hear the accent, but he just feels so just nice and so Minnesota-ly spoken. You love to see that from the kid. Again, wasn't the only good defensive play he made last night. He did play a double off the wall by James Wood very well. It's a very tough wall to play out there, Drew. How did you feel playing that ball off the wall there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're just trying to gauge the wind. That's probably the toughest part, at least for my very short time being here, and then what other people have said as well. You look up and you turn around to play off the wall, and it's in a little different spot than you expected it to be. But I think at that point, you're just trying to keep him from getting to third.
And keep him from getting to third, he did with a great strong throw back into the infield. And the reason I asked Drew about that play was, and I was talking with him afterwards after we stopped rolling and just kind of chatting with him about that wall there. And the reason I thought that play that he made off the James Wood double was very impressive was because I have seen a lot of very talented right fielders who don't play for the Giants struggle with balls out there. And the story I brought up last night that completely showed my age, I brought up the 2007 All-Star game. I asked him, I don't know if you saw that game. I walked away later, realized, dude, he was 6 years old when that game happened. Why would you even go there? But I don't know if you guys remember who are younger than Drew Gilbert. But for our listeners out there, we all remember that All-Star game. Ichiro had that inside the park home run. That's how he ended up winning the All-Star game MVP. He hit that inside the park home run almost in the same area that James Wood hit that double. And Ken Griffey Jr., who was in right field that day, completely whiffed the positioning there. Played it so horribly. And that's what allowed Ichiro to keep running around the bases to get that inside the park home run. So I was telling him about that and just being like, yeah, dude, that just shows the fact you were able to play that ball so well right off the bat, that's not nothing. So that was a good conversation to have with him about that. I want to have a conversation about what Bob Melvin said last night. But before we get to that, there's a couple things. First things first, I want to shout out to everyone who's watching on YouTube, which is brought to you by First NorCal Credit Union for a low-rate auto loan. Apply online or just ask for First NorCal financing at the dealer. It is just your boy Sam Lubman today on the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap here alone in the Laughing Monk Studios. Laughing Monk, righteously brewed here in San Francisco. Steven Risotto, Zach Green, they're behind the glass doing all sorts of work there. 888-957-9570 is the number. I'm taking any and all Giants takes all morning long. You can also text that same number on the Boxer and Gerson Work Injury Attorneys text line. We'll try and read some of your texts off of there. I need to get better at reading off of the text line. And I go to the text line and holy smoke, the first one I see out of the 925. What a great text from the 925. Sam, what is your go-to pizza from Pinky's? I'm a big Pinky's guy. Pinky's Pizza out in Walnut Creek. Grew up on Pinky's. They're family friends of ours. And my mom's birthday was on Thursday. Went there and had our favorite pizza. I'm a big fan of the Kyle. Their 925. It's got pepperoni. It's got onions, mushrooms, sausage, and one of my favorite toppings, garlic. I need garlic on everything except ice cream.
I'm out.
That's the one. Garlic ice cream is the only one. I'm just like, I don't know about that one. Garlic me up for everything else, especially the fries. Love the garlic fries. Had some of those last night. And garlic fries are great with a couple baseball guys. Wow, look at that plug there for the podcast, Rizzo. You love that. Garlic fries and baseball guys. 925. Again, you bartended there. Oh, that is really cool to hear. Love Pinky's Pizza very much. One of my dream sponsors I want to get here at 95.7 The Game is I want Pinky's Pizza somehow to sponsor Brian Baldinger on this station. Because, he's got his pinky thing going there. It's my pinky's a pinky, but his is obviously at a right angle. I just think that would be really cool if we can get Baldy and the famous Pinky sponsored by Pinky's Pizza. So that is that diatribe there. Got from the 262, Lubman, you might need to get your guy Willard a Kaiwei Tang apology form. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Again, one good start. I want to see Kaiwei Tang build on it. I'm not sure how much longer he will be in the rotation, though. Carson Wisenhunt will be on the mound today. We do have a lineup for today. Shanna Rubin, who does a great job covering the Giants for the San Francisco Chronicle. She recently put the lineup out. I'll read that off in just a moment. But I did have a chance to catch up with Landon Roop yesterday. He's doing good. Elbow feels great. He hates the time off. He should be back soon. He'll probably get a rehab start at some point as well. So I think Kaiwei Tang maybe got one more start from him, maybe two, depending on how things go with Roop. But I'm guessing one more start. Then you get Landon Roop back into this rotation. And then hold on to your hats, folks. Because at that point, Zach, I need you to hold on to your hat. Come on, man. There we go. At that point, we got Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, Justin Verlander, who's looked much better since getting that first win of his. 10 innings pitched. I think he's only given up a run or two in his last 2 starts combined. He's looking like the pitcher the Giants were hoping he would be. So you got those 3. Then you got Landon Roop, who, man, where would this team be without Landon Roop this year? Who saw that? The fact that we're saying that, who saw that coming? And then you got Carson Wisenhunt. Fellas, that's a rotation right there. That's a rotation I'll go into battle with.
Playoffs!
So, certainly possible. I want to talk about playoffs, but really quick, before we get into that, there was an idea that was pitched on this station yesterday.
There is a part of me that will never die.
By that guy, Matt Steinmetz. In the most Matt Steinmetz idea that I've ever heard.
And that's what life's about.
And it was a sports bar where you go to root against Bay Area sports teams. And I'm listening to this. I'm listening on the free Odyssey app, which is free, super free. No hidden charges whatsoever. You listen to all the shows here on 95.7 The Game. Listen to all the Odyssey stations. You also listen to Garlic Fries, the baseball guys, on it as well. Like and subscribe today and tell your friends about it. But yeah, I could hear the smile in Steiny's face the entire time, and I could hear the bewilderment in Evan Giddings' voice as well throughout the entire thing. And so the whole concept is, because there's so many transplants here in the Bay Area, if you're not a fan of one of these teams, then you go there to just root for the Giants to lose. You go there to root for the Sharks to lose. You go there to hope the Niners get humiliated. And then because this guy has never found a knife that he can't twist deeper, he's like, well, what if there are no games? Oh, well, I've got that covered. When there are no games on, it's just rolling highlights of all the worst moments in Bay Area sports history. And it's like, you evil person. That's just so dark and twisted. I absolutely love it. And he brought something up, and I shot him a text over this. He never got back to me because he doesn't have an answer, I'm guessing. He's like, if you hate Cal, come on down and watch. If you hate Stanford, come on down and watch. So my thing is, well, what if you hate Stanford, but like Cal, which is me. I'm a normal person. That's how I roll. And he didn't give me an answer there. So I assume if you hate one team but like another, you're still not going to enjoy it there. Because while I'm, going to go and enjoy watching Stanford get, the snot beat out of them by Boston College, I'm going to have Cal on the other TV getting absolutely waxed by Louisville. By the way, Stanford going to be out in Miami this year, going down to play at Hard Rock Stadium, take on my Canes in October. That's a game I kind of want to go to. I would love to go to that one and maybe make up some errors I made last year when Miami came to play Cal. Anyway, let's move off of that one now because I just made myself miserable. Bob Melvin last night. So that's all I had to say. It's actually really quick. Rizzo, what were your thoughts on Steiny's Hater Bar?
My thoughts are it was one of the best segments I've ever been a part of. And I had heard the idea before the show, and then when Steiny actually pitched it, it was 10 times better than he had pitched it before the show. And the best part was more and more ideas kept coming to mind, and I was kind of egging him on too. I was like, all right, what if people come in? What if people come in Bay Area jerseys and they're looking for a bar to watch sports at? Turn them away. They got to go. And then I was like, what if, how would you work there? Like, what's the employment? Like, what are the requirements to be employed at this bar?
They had a test.
They have to have a test of loyalty. So it was an incredible segment. Steiny, and for those that didn't listen yesterday, go listen to Steiny Guru. It was an amazing show with Evan and Steiny. And, we even talked about the team's logos would be in the bathroom, in the toilet.
I missed that part.
And
God.
The text line was just going off with suggestions of names of this place. And just different ideas. Somebody said that the name of the men's bathroom should be Splash Bros. Like, it was one of the best segments on this station.
Do you call the women's room Ballhalla then, I guess?
I have no idea.
I guess you make the trash bags, like if you can get like Giants themed trash bags. Actually,
a Tommy Lasorda sponsored booth.
Oh, he's got to have, his face right above it. Oh, you just got to have booths for all like the great enemies in Bay Area sports. Like there's a giant Shohei mural as you walk in.
They started going through the people that were not invited to this bar. They were like, all right, well, Steph Curry not invited,
obviously.
Legend. Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe. Like, people don't like him. Some people,
Jimmy might have VIP treatment in there.
And then they said that maybe the only current player that's invited to this place might be Jonathan Kuminga, because he might hate his own team. We just don't know.
That's true. Yeah, he might have his own booth there someday as well. I want to give Dan Ugla a booth there too. Most pointless giant ever.
Farhan gets a picture.
Oh, the Farhan. The Farhan's got to have a menu item, like the Farhan Zaidi cheeseburger. You have to crunch the numbers on it, though, before you can get it. Zach, I'm curious. If there was a bar full of teams that you hated, what would those teams need to be for you to go in there and be like, yeah, this is the Haterville I want to be in?
Purdue, obviously.
Obviously.
Dodgers.
Good call.
I would say probably Lakers.
Good call. Spadoni might disagree.
Trying to think. Yeah, probably those three right
I'm curious,
now.
what are the
and probably Seahawks.
Oh, that's another good one. Yeah, I'd throw the Cowboys in there too, maybe. I'm curious, what are the college teams you hate the most? You're a Big Ten guy. I know you got a lot of passionate hate there. Who are your top 5 Big Ten teams that you hate?
Well, Purdue number 1.
Obviously.
Number 2, probably Ohio State just in football.
Number 2.
Well, yeah, we're talking football. Well, I guess Indiana is a basketball school, but let's keep it football.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Honestly, probably Nebraska.
Okay.
I mean,
they haven't been relevant in your lifetime, but all right.
No, yeah, they haven't. But number 4, probably Michigan. Number 5, let's see. I would go probably Iowa. I mean, all those
number
teams,
5,
other than Purdue, like, I wouldn't say I hate them. Purdue's like our biggest rival.
Obviously, yeah. They're to you what Florida State is to me. So,
yeah.
All right, good stuff there. Got to talk a little bit about Steiny's hate. One thing I didn't hate last night was what Bob Melvin said after the game. Now, I want to set the scene here a little bit again. A week ago, this team traded away Tyler Rogers, Mike Yastrzemski, and Camille Duvall to the Mets, Royals, and Yankees, respectively, and got a pretty solid haul, especially for Tyler Rogers. We seeing the results of that playing out right now. Saw Jose Butto in the 8th inning last night. Love seeing him there. We saw Drew Gilbert make his debut. He injected some energy into this team. Love seeing that. And Hank Schulman asked this great question here. It's so easy after being sellers at the deadline to just say, well, that's the white flag. It's all about next year now. And Bob Melvin had an answer that I think should kind of set the tone for what these next 2 months are going to be about for this team. And here's what he had to say about the deadline being a wake-up call.
Yeah, it was also a wake-up call for the team, too. We didn't play well enough to add at the deadline, but we also feel like we have enough here. So I think similar to earlier in the season when we made some moves and got on a run, it was a message to the players that, the time's gone by, we're going to do some things a little bit differently. And I think similar to the trade deadline, it was kind of about that, we're not adding, but we're also looking for the future. We're looking at the short term, but we have enough guys here, especially all our core guys that are going to be here to still have success.
Dare I say, do the Giants have 2 timelines? Is that the plan? No, I shouldn't go there. I feel like that should be the name of the bar that Steiny calls. To call it the 2 timelines bar. How about that? But no, I like what Bob said there. It was a wake-up call for this team. And this is where I'm really impressed with the messaging that Bob Melvin and Buster Posey have had for the team this year. Buster said back in June, it's time to go. And he backed those words up a little while later by making the trade for one Rafie Devers. And I like what Bob Melvin is phrasing that as, because the mentality of baseball is so important. I feel like we so underrate the mental aspect of this game. But to set that tone that, no, we're not punting on this season. This season still does matter. This was a call to you guys to let you guys know, y'all ain't playing well enough. Y'all need to step up your game. And since the trade deadline, this team is 5-2. Again, 7 games. That's not the greatest of sample size. You know, you don't win or lose or make or break a season based off 7 games. They can have a massive impact, don't get me wrong. But it's not going to be an end-all be-all. But you did take 2 or 3 against the Mets last weekend in the wake of the deadline. You did bounce back, take 2 or 3 against the Pirates in the wake of the deadline. And then you get the win last night. And the series win against the Mets was nice. It was good to see that. And again, it's very easy to dismiss the Pirates and the Nationals as being let me check my notes here. Yes, the Pirates and the Nationals. 2 very bad baseball teams. Giants have struggled against bad baseball teams this year. This is the very same Giants team that got swept by the Miami Marlins at home in the Gabe Kapler Revenge Series. This is the same Giants team that went into guaranteed rate field, or rate field now, or just terrible field as I like to call it because it's an awful ballpark. Hate that ballpark. And lost 2 or 3 to the lowly, god-awful White Sox. This is a Giants team that has not 1, but 2, so I hold up my 2 fingers for the YouTube chat, losses against the Colorado Rockies, which is 2 more losses than I would have been okay with this year. Case in point, beating bad teams is not a given with the Giants. They've struggled with a lot of other bad teams. They got knocked around by the Angels a little bit. You know, they've struggled with the Diamondbacks. Granted, that was before the Diamondbacks sold off, but they struggled with them. They got absolutely walloped by the Minnesota Twins and the Kansas City Royals. Mike Yastrzemski's Kansas City Royals, though Yaz was not on the team at the time. And those are 2 teams that are below 500. You know, the Twins, they sold off their entire team at the trade deadline, so they were a much better team when the Giants faced them. But the fact of the matter is, this team has struggled against below 500 teams a lot this year. And so that is why you can't just pass off these wins against the Pirates and Nationals as just being wins against the lowly Pirates and the Nationals. But what I love about the game, it's setting the tone that winning is the goal here. And that is what I always like about the Giants. In my lifetime, they have never really been major sellers. When I think about in the 25 plus years that I've been watching this team, I can recall 1, 2, 3, 4 deadlines, including this one, where they were like actually sellers, so to speak, by definition. But even then, 2017, they moved off Eduardo Nunez at the deadline, who they acquired the year before. That was the move that brought Sean Anderson in, and they flipped Sean Anderson for someone else down the line, Rizzo. If you could look up who Sean Anderson ended up becoming, it's going to be one of those names when I hear it, I'm going to smack myself in the head and be like, oh my God, how'd I forget that one? 2018, they moved off Andrew McCutchen for Abdul Avellino. That was a trade that they absolutely lost, the Giants did. And then 2019, they moved Mark Melancon and Sam Dyson for a package of guys. Mark Melancon became, among other guys, Tristan Beck, who got the final out yesterday. Hold on. And then Sam Dyson brought in Jalen Davis, who, whatever, and Kai-Wei Tang. Oh, weird how that works out. And then there was this deadline here. Selling has never been the Giants' thing. And that is what I always love about this team. I am not a tanking guy. I am not a guy who wants to see this team just say, screw it. This season doesn't matter. Whatever happens, happens. We're just going to play a bunch of young guys and see where it goes. That's small market nonsense. I don't like that for the Giants. And I know that might be a controversial thing to say, but I want my team to focus on winning. That is always my goal here. And I love that Bob is still keeping that mentality, because when you have a core of Willie Adames, Rafie Devers, Matt Chapman, Elliot Ramos, Jung-Hoo Lee, those are all guys. I think Ramos is the young guy there. He's like 25 or something. Those are all guys in the prime years of their career. Devers is 27. Jung-Hoo Lee is 27. Chapman is, I believe, 31. Adames is 29. Those are your prime years. You do not spend those years on teams that are rebuilding. And so when you have 5 guys in the lineup who are in their prime years, what you're basically saying is, yeah, we have a lineup that can win right now. And I like that Bob Melvin's still keeping that mentality, and that's the mentality I want the Giants to keep the rest of the way. Until they're out of the playoff chase completely and they're actually eliminated, then that changes the discussion. So I like that that's still the goal. How attainable, though, is the goal of winning enough baseball games to still get to one of those wild card spots? I want to get into that on the other side because I think there's a lot of factors that are going to play a role in the Giants getting there. Part of it is the lineup, and there's going to be a question around this lineup that's going to be popping up a lot over these next few weeks. And I'm going to tell you right now, the answer to that question is no. What is that question? Oh, I think I might just tell you on the other side. How is that for a tease? I'm going to answer the question before I even ask it. This is even Jeopardy. This is the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. That's not how things work. You want to know how things work, though? That's make sure you're locked in tonight at 5:30 when the Valkyries take on the LA Sparks. You can hear that game right here on 95.7 The Game and on the Valkyries channel on the Odyssey app. Just download the app and search Valkyries. You can also watch the game on KPIX. Pre-game starts at 5 o'clock. That is all brought to you by San Francisco Sheriff's Office. Your future begins here. On the other side, I'm going to give you the question that I am answering no to, and then we'll talk about it. We're going to talk to some other people about it as well. Don't go anywhere. It's the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. Sam Lubman. That is all brought to you by Fremont Bank, here for you, here for good.
Hey, it's your boy Guru. Every time we put a rat on the table during our show, it's brought to you by Atco Pest Control. Atco Pest Control is a family-owned local business proud to provide pest control in the Bay Area for over 35 years. Atco uses natural methods to give you a peace of mind and keep your family out of harm's way. Quality pest control doesn't have to empty your savings either. Don't wait. Go to AtcoPestControl.com for all your pest control needs. They got you covered.
With the Pettinelli Financial Partners 10th Annual Tournament to Support Autism Society, San Francisco Bay Area, committed to providing resources and activities for local families touched by autism. Sponsored in part by Atco Pest Control. This year's event offers a chance to golf with 95.7 The Game favorites and local sports celebrities. Have your company co-sponsor the event or get details on how you can play. Search 10th Annual Pettinelli Golf at Harding Park.
All guests on 95.7 The Game appear on the River Islands guest line.
Warriors head coach Steve Kerr now joining us on the River Islands guest line.
Joining us right now on the River Islands guest line, none other than Steph Curry.
River Islands in Lathrop combines new home neighborhoods with lakes, parks, and trails. All new charter schools, a waterfront restaurant, and all the elements to make the good life your life. Isn't it time for you to discover the islands?
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Napa Valley Wine Train invites you on a breathtaking journey through Napa Valley aboard their elegant vintage train. Savor world-class wines and exquisite cuisine. For more info and to enter for a chance to win passes plus an overnight stay at the River Terrace Inn, visit 957thegame.com.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath.
High five.
You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked!
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years. Woo! The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm, totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
If you have back-to-school shopping to do, then you should make Macy's your first stop. That's because your Macy's store has back-to-school essentials at incredible prices, like complete looks from Epic Threads, Levi's, and Abercrombie Kids. Character outfits from Hello Kitty, Mickey, and Minnie Mouse. Plus, backpacks from JanSport and High Sierra. The best part? Get it all for 25 to 50% off. That's right, up to half off. But hurry in. These back-to-school deals end Sunday at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
When you own your own business, you need to keep things moving. Need to book a last-minute flight? Earn a $300 travel credit to cover that. Need to take a meeting before takeoff? Do it from the comfort of the Chase Sapphire Lounge by the club. Need to catch your breath before you board? Done. With $2,500 in annual value, the new Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business is the card that gives back all you put in. Visit chase.com/reserve business to learn more. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Summer is here, and it's time to plan your style staycation with Bob's Discount Furniture, where you can find everyday low prices on the hottest styles. The comfiest Consumer Reports recommended mattresses, fast, friendly delivery, and flexible financing to fit your budget. Go to mybobs.com for details. So stock up and score everyday low prices, delivered on time all summer long at your nearest store or at mybobs.com.
Oh, my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
And this is hit high and deep and out of here.
Now back to the best Giants talk in the Bay. The Orange and Black Weekend Wrap on 95.7 The Game.
These Giants, man. They're about to make me lose my mind. Up in here being the Laughing Monk Studios. Laughing Monk. Righteously brewed in San Francisco. I'm not going to be the only one here. Sam Lubman here, by the way, for the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. Halfway through the show. It's an official show now. You know, it's kind of like the top of the fifth inning. You come to an official game. 10:30 becomes an official show.
Right.
Exactly. Thank you, Boach. But later on tonight, after the final whistle of the 49ers-Broncos game at Levi Stadium, we have our first Red and Gold post-game show of the 2025 season, and the one and only Mark Grandy will be your host for that one. So after the Niners game is over, come and hang out with the Grandy man and talk a little Niners with him. That will be, again, tonight after the 49ers game comes to a conclusion. That is the Red and Gold post-game show hosted by Mark Grandy. So love to have you guys on for that one, and thank you very much to all those who are tuning in this morning here for the wrap. Giants 5-0 winners last night over the Washington Nationals. Game 2 today at 1 o'clock, and it's going to be Carson Whisenhunt on the mound. And we do have a lineup, and I'm sorry, I just got distracted because it's Yankees Old Timers Day, and I'm pulling up my phone to go find the Shayna Rubin tweet that has the lineup on it. And I open Twitter, and I see an image of Johnny Damon with really long gray hair. Man, I hate feeling old. I don't want to get too much into Johnny Damon. Friend of the roast, Johnny Damon, by the way. But your lineups today are Elliot Ramos is going to be leading off in left field. Rafie Devers is DHing tonight. So good job at first base yesterday, Rafie. Let's have you take it easy today.
Yeah.
We play that one again.
Yeah.
That was probably Steiny. I didn't mention this. I'm going to get to the rest of the lineup in a second. The best line Steiny had on that hater bar, yeah, come watch China versus Petaluma and root for China. Oh, my God. Guy's going to be on a list. Elliot Ramos leading off at left. Rafie Devers batting second, DHing. Willard Dibs swinging a really good bat lately. He's been one of the Giants' best hitters since the All-Star break. 18 home runs on the season. Starting to look a lot like the Willard Dibs I think Giants fans were expecting. He is going to be batting third at shortstop. Big Dom Smith, friend of the roast. He will be batting cleanup and at first base. And he was on the roast earlier this week, and he had a great line about how playing the field is great to do for hitters.
From a mentality standpoint, like you said, when you do DH, it puts more pressure on you to try to produce at the plate, whether that's hit an extra base hit. Sometimes when you walk, you feel like, that wasn't good enough. And if you don't get any hits, then you feel like you weren't a part of the team. So I think, at a sense, it does put an added weight to you to go out and really, hit the ball with authority, hit for extra base hits, hit for power, etc. And if you're not doing good for a certain amount of time, then it kind of weighs on your mental state, and it's hard to kind of get out that funk. But now if you're going out and you're playing defense and you can go make a diving play, save a run, you could go throw a guy out at home plate and do these different things to feel a part of the team. Now that just gets you from thinking about your next at-bat. And when you do get to your next at-bat, you could just focus on that a little bit more and have more clarity, opposed to everything being cluttered up because the only thing you're thinking about is hitting.
So that was Dom Smith earlier this week on the Morning Roast. He's going to be your cleanup hitter tonight again. Ramos, Devers, Adames, Dom Smith, Matt Chapman batting fifth at third base. I combine third and fifth together into a third. Matt Chapman batting fifth at third base. Jung-Hoo Lee will be batting sixth in center field. Casey Schmidt will be batting seventh at second base. And then Drew Gilbert will be your right fielder up to the 8th spot in the lineup now, and that is because Andrew Kisner will be in the squat catching for the lefty Carson Wisenhunt. So, before the break, I answered a question and that answer was no. And you're wondering, what is the question? The question is simply, as the Giants go to chase a playoff spot, in order to do that, they're going to have to win baseball games. Duh. In order to win baseball games, they're going to have to score runs. Duh. And scoring runs has been sometimes a bit of a frustrating adventure for this team. And, there's a lot of demand for another bat at the trade deadline. And instead, the Giants sold off players. They traded Tyler Rogers, Camilo Doval, and Kansas City Royals legend Mike Yastrzemski. And I feel like we're starting to feel where I'm going with this. And where I'm going with this is, can the Giants find an extra boost of offense in their minor leagues? Yes, it's the Bryce Eldridge question. Should the Giants call up Bryce Eldridge for an extra jolt of offense down the stretch here? That's the question. And my answer was no. Simply because he's still 20 years old. And I just simply I don't think he's ready for the big leagues yet. Now, I know he's hitting well in the month of August. Hitting .430 this month. Had a couple home runs the other day. But he also had an 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts the other day as well. There's going to be ups and downs there. And the defense isn't quite there yet with Eldridge to where you're going to trust him every day. And just because he's on a tear in the first few days of this month, I don't think that means that he's truly ready. He's truly forcing the issue yet. And if you're going to call up Bryce Eldridge, I don't think you do it when the goal is still to win baseball games. Because when you get him up here, when the Giants do bring him up here, they're not going to bring him up as a guy off the bench. They're not going to bring him up to just sit around and watch and learn what it's like to be in a big league clubhouse. No. When he comes up here, it's because he's ready to be an everyday player. And just from what I gather, In a few minutes, we're going to talk to a guy who's had a lot of eyes on Bryce Eldridge this year, and Stephen Ruderman of Bear Sports Radio Service. From everything I've heard, I haven't had a whole lot of eyes on him other than highlights that are posted on Twitter, and those highlights are always going to show good stuff. It's just not quite there. And I know a lot of Giants fans are screaming obscenities at the radio right now about how crazy I am. But I'm telling you, he's 20 years old. There is no rush to get him up here. Now, Buster Posey, he made it pretty clear after the deadline that probably not going to be coming up anytime soon. Maybe he's left the door open in some other instances. But the lay of the land I get right now is just if you're looking for a savior in Bryce Eldridge for this team, I just don't see that happening. At least right now when the goal is to win games and make the playoffs. And I'm kind of curious where other fans are on this. Do you just want to say, screw it, call Bryce up, and I don't care what happens? Or do you want to just let the rest of his season play out, and we'll see what he does next year? And the reason why I'm not calling up Bryce Eldridge right now, the main reason why is because I don't see an everyday spot for him. Where are you going to play him right now? They've been working him out at first base, and by all accounts, the defense is not quite there yet. And no, this is not a case of, hey, well, if Rafie can play first base, maybe Eldridge can learn. No, that's not how this works. They want him to play every day. And the last thing that this organization wants to have happen with Bryce Eldridge is for him to have a start to his career like Brandon Belt did. For those who don't recall, back in 2011, Brandon Belt was on the opening day roster. He was a trendy Rookie of the Year pick after Buster Posey had won it the year before. And he had that home run on opening night off Clayton Kershaw. And everyone
Billingsley.
Oh, it was off Billingsley?
His first big league hit was off Kershaw.
Okay, so it was the next night then he hit it off. Okay, there you go. Good call there, Rizzo. But Belt's rookie year was very up and down. I don't mean the performance. I mean, he was literally up in the big leagues and then down in the minors, then up in the big leagues and then down in the minors. I think 3 times he was yo-yoed up and down from the big league club to AAA. And that's just ridiculous. And that's probably why Brandon Belt never hit 30 home runs in a season. It's because of that stuff right there in 2011. Nothing else at all. I speak facetiously, of course. Now, again, I'm not saying that Brandon Belt and Bryce Eldridge are the same talent-wise. I mean, by all accounts, Bryce Eldridge has all the tools to be a superstar in this league, to be a transcendent hitter at the big league level. Brandon Belt was never going to be that. Brandon Belt, at most, was just going to be a very solid everyday player, which, for the most part, he was when healthy. And so, but the last thing the Giants want to do is have Eldridge come up and struggle and then have to immediately get sent back down again. They're not going to yo-yo him. Now, there's not a lot of time left in the season, so it's going to be a lot harder to yo-yo him, especially since the minor league season, the regular season at least, ends in about a month, just in time for the September call-ups. They only get 2 guys you can call up now. And I still don't think that one of those guys will be Bryce Eldridge, because that gets back into what I was just saying in that I don't know where you put him. You got Rafie Devers handling first base right now. And when he's not at first base, he's DHing. And on those days, you got Dom Smith playing first. Dom Smith went 2 for 4 last night. You just heard him here a minute ago. And he is one of the hallmarks of the Farhan Zaidi era was those Farhan finds, those guys you just find on the scrap heap of other teams. What's it? Mike Yastrzemski. How did I almost forget his name? Yaz was the most successful one. The guy the Giants got for Sean Anderson, it's Rizzo.
Well, they traded Sean Anderson
for
the great Lamawe Jr.
Another great Farhan find until he wasn't. Dom Smith is looking like the first Buster find. The guy that he just found on a scrap heap of another team. And I have zero desire to take playing time away from Dom Smith right now. It's not just because he's a great guy. It's not just because he is the first Giant to come on this show and then not go into on the morning roast and then not go into a slump afterwards. By the way, the amount of people who texted me after that show saying that Dom Smith was their new favorite player just warmed my heart. He's a great guy and a great ball player. I am not taking playing time away from Dom Smith. I am not taking playing time away from Rafie Devers. And if those guys aren't in the lineup, you also got Wilmer Flores who will be taking DH spots or DH at-bats. And so if there's no consistent playing time to get Eldridge on the field, I mean, that's it. It's even about the field, just into the lineup. There's not even a space for him to DH right now because you got 2, potentially 3 guys if you want to DH Dom Smith, which, sure, I guess legally you can do that. There's just no avenue to get him into the lineup there. So if he can't hit every day, there's no position for him to play up here right now. I did have a thought, maybe you could put him out in right field. Well, Drew Gilbert's kind of erased that from being a possibility. So I don't see an avenue for Bryce Eldridge to work his way into the lineup as of right now. That's just the reality of it. And I think that might be a better situation for Bryce Eldridge. Now, again, I'm not quite sure where the gaps in his game are because I haven't been able to watch him in person. I'm only watching, the occasional Twitter highlights, and those are always going to put up the good stuff. I don't know where the gaps in his swing are. Because, again, when you're only seeing home run highlights, which those are fun to see, it doesn't tell you the whole picture. So that's why I'm going to go out to the River Islands guest line right now, welcome in a good friend of mine, covers Giants and the River Cats for sports radio service, one Steven Ruderman. Steven, how you doing, my friend?
I'm okay. I'm here to talk about Bryce Eldridge and to agree with you about why he should not be brought up right now.
Now, so I'm going to bring our listeners here behind the scenes a little bit. I've known Steven for a long time. We've talked a lot of Giants together, and a couple days ago, we actually had an argument about the exact opposite. He was like, no, don't bring Eldridge up. I was like, you know what? Yeah, why not? Let's just give it a shot. Marinated on those thoughts for a couple days, and yeah, I changed my opinion, so that made this phone call we're about to have a lot less exciting, unfortunately. But, Steven, I want to hear your reasoning as to why Bryce Eldridge isn't ready for the big league lineup just yet.
Well, first of all, he's only played 43 games in AAA, and a lot of baseball ops departments now are rushing guys up. And when you rush a guy up who's not ready, being ready is more than just swinging the bat well or playing good defense. You have to be mentally ready. You have to be ready to deal with situations. You have to be ready on how to deal with going into a slump. And if you say you get called up and you're not ready and you go into a massive slump, that could really screw up a guy's development. Bryce Eldridge has only played 43 games in Sacramento. 43. That's just a month and a half's worth of games in the minor leagues. I get that Giants fans are desperate for a big superstar to come to the team. They're desperate to be excited about the team. But you don't risk a guy's career for what is a long shot chance at the playoffs. Also, bringing up right field at Oracle Park is the hardest possibly outfield position to play in all of baseball. That 24-foot high Willie Mays wall is the hardest wall to play a carom on.
Mm-hmm.
All the nooks and crannies of it. You have the top of it sticking out. You have the brick and then the padding underneath it. You have the gates covering.
There's no consistency with that right field wall. There really isn't. And
you talk about Devers and Smith playing first base. You can't just tell a 20-year-old kid, hey, kid, welcome to the big leagues. We're expecting you to carry this team to the playoffs. No pressure. You can't just do that to a 20-year-old kid.
No, Steve, sorry to cut you off there, but you mentioned the slumping thing there. And I think you're a guy, you love getting into the minutia details of the mental aspects of this game. You've devoted so much of your life to this game, as I've learned in all the years that I've known you here. Again, we're talking with Steven Ruderman, covers the Giants and River Cats for sports radio service. The reason we're chatting with him is because he has had a lot of eyes on Bryce Eldridge this year. Explain to me and to our listeners here the importance of learning how to deal with a slump and why it's more important that he learns this lesson in the minor leagues rather than up with the big club.
It's more important because it's more important that he learn it because the minor leagues, you can learn a lot in the minor leagues. And if you have a slump at the big league level and you're doing it with all the fans who are watching and all the media attention and in front of 40,000 people every night, it could really set a player back. And a lot of teams have been rushing their top prospects up to the big leagues. And when they do that, it really messes up their developments, and then they just completely collapse. You talk about Brandon Belt. You were talking about a few minutes ago, Brandon Belt getting yo-yoed in 2011. That did not do good at all for his development. And he had a hard time even in his first couple of full years in 2012 and 2013 getting adjusted.
It really was till 14-15 where I felt like he really got settled in at the plate.
Oh, yeah. And with Eldridge, the people I've talked to in Sacramento say he's not ready. And you've got a lot of coaches working with him. In the minor leagues, that's where you are taught to be a big leaguer. You are taught to be a ball player in the minor leagues. And that is where you have to go through your slump. So you learn and you have the experience of going through a slump, of facing adversity before you go up to the big leagues.
Now, an argument I have here at the station with Joe Shasky, who he hosts the Morning Roast, might be on Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys again someday, who knows. The argument he and I have, and the argument he uses, is how is an extra month in the minors going to turn Eldridge from what he is now into a Hall of Fame player? I find that to be kind of a simplistic way to look at it. But when you hear that argument, what's an extra month or two going to do for a guy that the big leagues won't? What is your response to that thought?
Well, it's just the same thing. Just teach a guy, give guy an opportunity to go through some adversity, teach guys some skills, get him more mentally prepared, work on more fundamentals, etc. It's just basically the same thing I've been saying.
All right, so good stuff there. No, last thing on Eldridge, we'll get into some other guys with this team. It's just, again, as you're watching him there, we bring up the gaps in his game. What's the thing that you feel like he needs to kind of master next, or the thing he needs to master the most right now to where it's like, okay, let's throw this guy into the fire of big league baseball?
Well, just getting his development, done in the minor leagues. Maybe also cutting down on the strikeouts. I watched him at first base. He's very smooth defensively, and he's a very talented ball player. But as I said, just getting him mentally up in tune and cutting down on the strikeouts.
All right, so Steve, we did get to see some fruits at the Tyler Rogers trade last night. Did you catch any of Drew Gilbert's performance last night?
0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts may not look great on paper, but it's not the worst major league debut. In his first at bat, took 5 pitches, fouled off a tough jam shot on 2 strikes, made a great catch. Going back to the right field wall at Oracle Park, played a carom off the wall perfectly on James Wood's double. I'm really liking I mean, it's only one game. It's a small sample size, but so far I like what I'm seeing from this kid.
Again, you mentioned the right field wall again there, and that's one of the reasons why you don't want to put Bryce Eldridge out in right field, among other reasons being that he doesn't have a lot of experience out there. But I thought that was pretty significant the way he played that ball. That was his first ever carom off the wall. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be perfect on all those caroms. I was pretty impressed by the fact that the kid was able to make a really good play off his first carom in right field.
Oh, I was just like, wow. I'm not joking. And he also has a great arm. I actually see a lot of Nate Shearholtz in this kid, and I think Nate Shearholtz got I thought he got a bad deal here in San Francisco, and I think there's a lot of potential.
Hey, Nate Shearholtz did get us Hunter Pence, so he did do something of value here. Steven, Bob Melvin last night, I don't know if you heard the cut, but he basically said that the trade deadline was a wake-up call for this team and that there's still a good team here, and the goal is still to win. If this team is going to make a run here for the playoffs, they're 4 games out of a wild card spot, and they got a massive 3-game series with the Padres coming up. What's this team going to have to look like here in the final 40-plus something games here if this team's going to go from 2 games above 500, 4 games out to a surprise playoff contender?
Well, they're going to have to do what they did in April, which we've seen more of in the last 7 games, which is playing good fundamental baseball and doing a little bit of everything, from hitting home runs to hitting for contact, small ball, stealing bases, pitching, and playing defense. Also, with the Padres, with the 3 wild card system now, you have to have a winning record. There are no more 1-game playoffs. You have to have a winning record head-to-head, and the Giants, if they want to have a winning record against the Padres, are going to have to go 5-2 in these 7 games. Not only do they have the 3 games against the Padres at Oracle next week, they have the 4 at Petco the following week. It is a long shot. I'm not ruling it out in baseball. Anything can happen. And what I think really started this was that they were feeling less pressure. I think the pressure was taken off after the trades, but I also think Melvin may be right that it was a bit of a motivation factor and that they still felt like they still had something to prove. But the Giants are going to have to go 5-2 against the Padres, and they're going to have to play good, consistent, fundamental baseball the rest of the way and really play the way they played in April if they want to make a run at this thing. If they do what they did over the last 3 months and just try and hit home runs and press at the plate, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. How are you feeling when Rafie Devers steps into the batter's box now?
Well, Devers is definitely swinging the bat a lot better. His home run last night, that was Barry Bonds country out there. That was a big potato out to the 415 club. The thing is with Devers, if he's healthy, that guy's an unstoppable force. And the thing is, he's looking a lot healthier right now. I think
he's moving so much better, too.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. All right, Steven, before I get you out of here, give me a win total that the Giants need if they were going to be a playoff team.
You know, it's weird. Early in the season, it was looking like the National League was going to be like the best league ever in the wild card era. And now it's looking like because I actually think the Mets are a team that could collapse and that could give the Giants an opening. Mm-hmm. It could take as little as 85, maybe even 84 wins to get in this year.
Wow.
I'm not joking.
All righty. Well, hopefully you're right there. And Steven, when are you going to be at the ballpark next?
I will be there Wednesday when the Giants take on the Foggers.
All right, I'm going to need you to babysit Risotto then while you are there, and then hopefully I'll catch you next weekend for the Rays games.
Sounds good.
All right, appreciate you for jumping on. Great job today, man. Great debut performance here on 95.7 The Game.
I appreciate it, buddy.
All right, Steven Ruderman of Sports Radio Service covers the Giants and Rivercats. He joins us there on the River Islands guest line, and again, very matter of fact about Bryce Eldridge. A lot of good to like there, but again, as he said, there's some nuances of this game that Eldridge still has to master, but I think a very big positive that Steven had there, Eldridge looking very smooth defensively at first base, which is very encouraging considering how basically behind the eight ball Bryce was having to learn this position on the fly. On the other side, we're going to start the final hour of the show today. Got some thoughts. A very key aspect of this team that's going to make a difference between this team making a run and not. I want to get into that on the other side. I did ask Bob Melvin about it as well. Bob will have some thoughts on this thought that I have. A lot of thoughts here. That's a drop. We'll get in all that on the other side. It is the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. Sam Lubman, Steven Risotto, Zach Green, behind the glass doing stuff. All that brought to you by Fremont Bank. Here for you, here for good.
Yeah.
America's favorite car show returns to the Bay Area with the crown jewel of hot rodding. Don't miss the 38th West Coast Nationals Good Guys Car Show, August 22nd through 24th at Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton. For your chance to win tickets, visit 957thegame.com.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X-Fi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And we're back, live during a Flex Alert. Dialed in on the thermostat. Oh, we're pre-cooling before 4 p.m., folks.
And that's the end of the third. Time to set it back to 78 from 4 to 9 p.m. Clutch move by the home team. What's the game plan from here on out?
Laundry?
Not today.
Dishwasher?
Sidelined.
What a performance by Team California. The power truly is ours.
During a Flex Alert, pre-cool, power down, and let's beat the heat together.
Let's go!
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Shopping for a new car is fun. Shopping for financing, not fun. Luckily, First NorCal Credit Union can help. With rates as low as 4.75% APR, you could save big by skipping the dealer financing and applying their rebates to your down payment. Visit firstnorcalcu.org to apply. Must qualify for membership. Rates subject to change without notice. Loan subject to credit approval. 4.75 annual percent rate based on 36-month term and 780 FICO score and 29.86 per $1,000 borrowed.
Be sure to tune in to the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game, following every Golden State Valkyries game, when Joe Spadoni and Joe Shasky named the strongest player of the game from the night before. Brought to you by El Camino Health. Our strength, your health.
Hey, don't miss the new season of Hard Knocks. Training camp with the Buffalo Bills. New episodes Tuesday at 9 p.m. exclusively on HBO Max. And for your chance to win a $25 NFL Shop gift card, visit the contest page at 957thegame.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin. And over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
Little jam shot. Adamas ready to hit all the way. Here's the throw home. Not in time.
Now back to the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. The best Giants talk in the Bay on 95.7 The Game.
I mean, bring it on, man.
All right, Jan, I am going to bring it on. Welcome back to the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. Sam Lubman here. Steam Risotto, Zach Green behind the glass. Shout out to all those watching on YouTube. Brought to you by First NorCal Credit Union. For a low-rate auto loan, apply online or just ask for First NorCal financing at the dealer. We are coming to you live from the Laughing Monk Studios. Laughing Monk, righteously brewed in San Francisco. Want to hear from the Giants fans. What do you care about more, winning or development? What matters more to you these last 2 months? What are you excited for? Possibly winning baseball games or possibly seeing guys come up from AAA and show what the future of this team could look like. Bob Melvin said last night that the trade deadline was a bit of a wake-up call, and this is a team that they feel can kind of straddle both sides of the coin here, where I don't think you can straddle a coin. They can play kind of both sides here. They can try and win for now, and you have that option. You have guys like Rafie Devers, Willie Adames, Matt Chapman, among others. Dom Smith, the real big Dom, not that fraud out in Philadelphia who just stands on the sideline and looks stupid. God, how fun is it that football season's back? So those are win now guys. Or, they also have a chance to see a bit of the future. We're going to see a little bit of that today with Carson Wisenhunt. We saw that a little bit last night with Kaiwei Tang and Drew Gilbert. I think one of those two is probably more of a future piece than the other. I will let you, the listener, decide which one is which. So there's options both ways here. Giants are 4 games out of the wild card spot, and we just had Steven Ruderman on of Sports Radio Service, covers the Giants and River Cats for them, and he brought up a very astute point that the National League wild card race, which just a couple weeks ago looked like one of the toughest races we've seen in a while, is suddenly looking very not all that scary looking. Giants are 4 games out, but the Reds, they are struggling. They've lost their last 3. And that's a team that the Reds for the last couple years have always seemed like they're a year away. And I feel like that's kind of still the case here with this Reds team. Then right above them is the New York Mets, who have lost 5 in a row, 9 of their last 10. They are in a free fall that will be talked about a lot more if the Yankees weren't trying to one-up them with the free fall that they are having in that town. The Padres, they did lose last night, but they're still in the mix of things. They do come to town next week. Giants have 7 games left against them. Can they go 5-2, as Steven said? Certainly be nice. Chicago Cubs hold that top wild card spot. I don't think you're catching the Cubs. That is a damn good baseball team right there. I don't think that one's in play right there. But Mets, Padres, very catchable, potentially. What are the odds that the Giants can catch that? Can't catch those teams. What are the odds they can catch those teams? Get into that in a second. I am getting into it in a second because first I want to tell you that tonight, after the 49ers preseason opener against the Broncos, need y'all to lock in here with 95.7 because Mark Grandy, the Grandy man, you sometimes hear him saying all the smart things on Willard and Dibs. He will be on right after the final whistle, breaking down the Niners' first preseason game. Talk all about that one play that Brock Purdy was in for. Talk about that 0 plays that Christian McCaffrey was in for. Talk about what we saw from Jason Pinnock. How is Upton Stout going to look in his preseason debut? Ricky Pearsall, can you handle Patrick Surtain?
Possibly.
Yeah, we'll see. Kyle Shanahan, you going to choke this one away?
Possibly.
Yeah, there we go. You wait for the playoffs for that one. So all of those topics and more, talk about with Mark Grandy tonight after the 49ers final whistle. It is their preseason opener. Football is back, but we're a baseball show. Thank you, Bonte. And last night, Bob Melvin, I want to play what Bob Melvin said about the wake-up call because I do believe that, again, playoffs, while a long shot, or they are still in the cards. Crazier things have happened in this sport. And as long as the playoffs are in the cards, I want to see this team chase that dream. That's just how I am. I like it when my baseball teams win. Call me crazy. I am not a guy who is just like, you know what? If you're not in it, tank for a draft pick. Call me crazy. I do not believe in tanking in baseball. Oh, but the Astros did it. The Astros are a very well-run team. And yes, did they tank for 3 straight number 1 picks? They did. 2 of those number 1 picks never signed. And Carlos Correa was not the sole reason why those Astros teams were so successful. So it's not about just tanking for one of those top picks. You got to have smart baseball people who know how to develop these guys. And the Astros have that. Oh, the Cubs did it too. Yeah, and the Cubs probably left a lot of winning on the table with the way that team broke apart. You want to talk about disastrous rebuilds and disastrous tank jobs. Look what the Orioles are going through right now. Because if you botch your tank job, then not only did you waste 4 or 5 years of 100-loss baseball, but now you're back to square one. And the Orioles look like they're lost in the wilderness despite having a lot of guys who should be good. And it's just not working out for them right now. And it all comes down to the fact that the Giants had a dynasty, 3 titles in 5 years, built off talent that none of them were drafted higher than 5. Buster Posey was the highest pick of those teams at number 5. So there are ways to do it. You do not have to lose now to win later. I want to see what this team can do now because this is a win-now team. Rafie Devers, Willie Adames, Matt Chapman, Elliot Ramos. Those are the guys you have on a team where the goal is, let's win today, and then we'll win tomorrow. 1 game at a time. Let's see what we can do. Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, those are co-aces. They've struggled a little bit since the end of the All-Star break. Logan Webb looked great in his last start against the Pirates. Robbie Ray gutted through 6 innings. I still trust those guys. And they will be taking on the Padres next week, Monday and Tuesday. It'll be Webb and Ray on the hill, taking on the Friars. Big series there for the Giants there. Need to take 2 of 3 from the Padres. I need at least 6 wins on this 9-game homestand. Just keep winning series, and the Giants have been doing that since the trade deadline. And again, a lot of teams can look at moving players at the deadline as a white flag. Bob Melvin does not think so.
Yeah, it was also a wake-up call for the team, too. We didn't play well enough to add at the deadline, but we also feel like we have enough here. So I think similar to earlier in the season when we made some moves and got on a run, it was a message to the players that, the time's gone by, we're going to do some things a little bit differently. And I think similar to the trade deadline, it was kind of about that we're not adding, but we're also looking for the future. We're looking at the short term, but we have enough guys here, especially all our core guys that are going to be here to still have success.
All the core guys here to still have success, and they're still going to get a look at the future. I was very encouraged by the debut of Drew Gilbert. But if the Giants are going to make a playoff run here, the lineup's going to be a part of it. The bigger part of it, though, is going to be the bullpen. And that's what I want to get into right here. And I asked Bob Melvin about this before the game. And the reason I did is because a week ago, little over a week ago, the trade deadline was last Thursday, so about 9-10 days ago, Giants had a pretty set bullpen. You had Randy Rodriguez was your guy in the 7th. And, if Randy wasn't available, maybe you go with Eric Miller, who he should be back soon. In fact, Randy was your 7th inning guy in 18 games. Eric handled 16 games in the 7th inning. And then in the 8th inning, Tyler Rogers was your go-to setup man. One of the most reliable 8th inning guys in baseball for the last 6.5 years. Made those 8th innings very, very stress-free. And then the 9th inning, you had either Ryan Walker at one point or Camilo Doval. Bullpen roles are very, very important because relievers, especially your relievers you go to the most, they like to know when they're going to come into games. It helps them get focused on the days on the day ahead, helps them know when they need to be ready. Now, in a bullpen, there's always a level of, they call these guys firemen for a reason. At any point in time, there could be a fire out there on the field, not a literal fire, but runs being scored, guys on base, and all that, what have you. And then you need the reliever on no notice, like, oh, hey, this game's gone sideways. Get warmed up, even though it's the 3rd inning. That is reality that relievers do live with. But for the most part, that's not what your standard game is going to look like. Your standard game is your starter's going to give you 5, hopefully 6 innings. And then you turn it over to your bullpen. Your 7th inning guy knows, hey, it's the 5th inning. I got to start loosening up. Your 8th inning guy knows, hey, it's the 6th inning. I got to start getting ready. Your closer knows, hey, 7th, 8th inning, this game's close. I got to get ready to shut the door. You want those guys to know what their roles are. And a week and a half ago, you had very set bullpen roles. This team last year, Bob Melvin's first year at the team, struggled a little bit with the bullpen early on because Bob Melvin was trying to figure out who fits in what role the best. Part of that was because Camilo Doval was struggling. But part of that was because, he's a new manager coming in. He's trying to get a sense of the arms that he has at his disposal. And this year, Bob did not have that problem because of Randy Rodriguez being so dynamite in the 7th inning. Because Eric Miller, as a lefty, the lone lefty in the bullpen, was good enough to get not just lefties, but also righties out at a consistent rate. Because Tyler Rogers was probably the best 8th inning guy in baseball. One of the best 8th inning guys, even though he didn't have blow by you stuff. The dude just got outs. That's what you want your pitchers to do. And Ryan Walker, did what he could in the closer spot. Camilo Doval did what he could in the closer spot. You don't have that set role anymore. Randy Rodriguez, your 7th inning guy, he's now your 9th inning guy. And as he has learned here early on, he's had a couple hiccups in the 9th inning already. He's had some rough finishes in the 9th inning already. That transition to the 9th inning, it's a different beast getting those last 3 outs. There's extra pressure there. Teams are going to dig into the box a little bit harder, a little bit more aggressively when they only have 3, 2, 1 outs left to play with. Randy is learning right now that the 3 outs you get in the 7th inning are just nowhere near the level of the 3 outs you got to get in the 9th inning. I've always said you need to have like a weird edge to you to be a closer. Part of the reason why Brian Wilson was such a dynamic closer for this team was because he was kind of a nut. And you need to be kind of a nut to handle those last 3 outs. Right. You have to have that edge, that this extra fire in you. Sergio Romo kind of had that edge to him. That's what enabled him to be a great closer. Just because you are a great reliever does not mean you're going to be a great closer. Santiago Casilla, he is part of that core 4 in the bullpen, one of the greatest relievers in the history of San Francisco Giants baseball. He's a 3-time champ. He is there are 3 trophies in cases at Oracle Park that are the present because, in part, of the work that Santiago Casilla did late in games. And that he did great because if I asked you right now, You can't even remember a single Santiago Casilla relief appearance in any of those 3 playoff runs because none of them were bad enough that you would remember them. That's called just getting the job done, being consistent. And yet when the Giants tried him out in the closer spot in 2014, did not go very well. Tried it out again in 2016, did not go very well. And ended up leading to a very messy, ugly end between the Giants and Santiago Casilla, unfortunately. Now, I still consider him one of the great relievers in Giants history. And just because he struggled the closer spot does not change that. But this all goes to show is great late-game relievers did not necessarily become great closers. Now, what's that mean for Randy Rodriguez? It means we're going to have to figure out if he is that closer or not. And that's going to be part of the experimentation that the Giants do down the stretch here. Now, for all the fans out there saying that winning doesn't matter, it is about development, well, congratulations, you're getting what you asked for in the 9th inning. The 9th inning is all about development right now while trying to win. And that is Randy Rodriguez's job in the 9th inning. Now, the other issue is, while you're trying to break in a new closer, how are you going to get the ball to the closer? Logan Webb can't just go out and throw 8 innings every start and then give the ball to Randy Rodriguez. Robbie Ray is not going to go into the 8th inning every night, so then we just give the ball to Randy Rodriguez in the 9th. And then you got Justin Verlander, Landon Root, Carson Whisenhunt, Kaiwei Tang, what have you. The 6th, 7th, and 8th innings are all up in the air right now for the Giants, which was not the case a week and a half ago. So, Bob Melvin, how difficult is it to reconfigure your bullpen and get new bullpen roles together in the middle of the season like you have to right now?
It's just something you have to do, whether it's an injury or whether in this case it was trades. You do the best with what you have. And Walker's pitched late in games before. We brought over, Budo's pitched late in games before. He's going to be a significant reliever for us. And we have 2 lefties down there right now that have pitched really well. Miller's could be on his way back fairly soon, maybe this homestand. So we still have a lot of good bullpen pieces. Arranging it will be kind of who's available and who performs well.
So that was Bob Melvin. That was pregame, by the way. Bob Melvin doing his pregame availability with us there, asking him about the bullpen. And again, the little nugget dropped in there. Eric Miller could be back on this homestand. That would be huge, but this is the reality that Bob Melvin has to deal with here, is getting these bullpen roles in order. So what does that look like? Who do you want to see where in the bullpen? 888-957-9570. Call or text us on the Boxer and Gerson Work Injury Attorneys text line. So the way I look at it, let's break it down here by inning. Let's start with the 7th inning. The 6th inning is its own beast in terms of those middle innings. But let's start with the 7th inning right now. And I think I would like to see Ryan Walker get more shots in the 7th inning. I know a lot of fans are full of consternation. It's a consternation sensation, some might say. That's a buck. When it comes to Ryan Walker on this team. And I get that. It's been really rough for him at times this year. And I have had some frustrations on how he's been used a little bit. I don't like the fact that he came into the season as the closer, but it was basically like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's only a matter of time before we bump you out of there for Camilo Doval. I don't like the fact that they put him in a role that was just like eventually we're going to rip you out of it, whether you're good at it or not. I mean, if he was excelling at it, I'm sure they would have let him do it a little bit longer, but I did not like the fact that Ryan Walker came into the closer basically with a ticking clock on him for when Camilo Doval was ready. They got to get his confidence back up. They got to get that edge back into him. Mechanically, I think he's been pretty sound. But if he can just get some good outings together, and this is what's difficult for a reliever. We had George Contos on the wrap a couple weeks ago with Dan and I, and he talked about how, it is very difficult for a reliever to get back on track when you're having a rough season. When you're a starting pitcher, you have set dates of when you're going to be pitching. And you have bullpens in between those outings that you can work on your mechanics and figure your things out. When you're a reliever, your schedule is so day-to-day. You might pitch one day, you might not pitch the next day. And Contos talked about how Bruce Bochy was very, very good at getting guys back in the next day when relievers had a rough day. But sometimes that's just not always the case. And I think Ryan Walker this year, he's really been battling with trying to get his season back on track. But the problem is, it seems like every time he's about to take that step to being back, to the level we saw him these last couple years, he has a disastrous outing that kind of sets things back a bit. So I would like to see a lot of him in the 7th inning, just as a chance, or maybe even the 6th inning too. I know I mentioned we get back. Maybe the 6th inning as well, a little less leverage there, but a way just to get him rolling again, because when he is clicking, when he is on, he can be one of the better relievers this team has. So I like to see Walker in the 6th, 7th inning. Another guy I wouldn't mind seeing in the 7th inning a little bit more is the guy who was the opener last night, and that's Matt Gage, the lefty the Giants found on waiver wires this year. And I think Gage is a phenomenal pitcher. I think he is just, again, it's been a short time here, but he has done terrific in his time with the Giants so far. They claimed him, he was with Detroit earlier this year, but in just 10 innings so far, he's holding hitters to a 121 batting average. It's looking very, very good right now. He has yet to allow a run as a Giant, and that right there, folks, is called a jinx. But I love what I'm seeing from Matt Gage right now. I would love to see him be that guy who comes in and, ferries this game from the 6th inning to the 8th inning. And then when we get to the 8th inning, I would like to see Jose Butto be that guy in the 8th inning. I love what Butto brings to the mound. I think he has the stuff to be very, very good in the 8th inning. He had a career 170 ERA in 25 innings pitched in the 8th inning. He has experience in that frame. And I love the pitch mix he has. The great fastball slider combo with the sinker on top of it. And he's got some great off-speed stuff with the changeup, and then he can throw a little breaking in there with the sweeper. A 5-pitch mix there where once upon a time the Giants were going with the Tyler Rogers slider, basically for the most part. I love the mix that Butto brings. The one knock I have on Butto, this is something that's going to have to be ironed out, and I understand. I'm not glossing over this. The walk rate's a little high. Last night, again, faced 4 batters, struck out 2, did walk 1. It felt like last night we got the whole kind of platter of what Jose Butto brings to the table. He'll strike guys out. He'll get the job done. There's going to be a walk mixed in. But I like Butto enough to where I want to see if he can handle that 8th inning. If you could get those roles squared away, whether it's Walker, Gage in the 7th, Eric Miller, he'll be in the 7th inning mix as well. Cannot understate how important that is. Jose Butto or another guy. And Riz, I want to get your thoughts on this because Bob Melvin seems to be wanting to use him in the 8th inning. And I think it's a curious decision, but it's also working. So it's hard for me to shake a stick at it. And that's Joey Lucchesi. And I'm just kind of curious there, Rizzo, as you see the work that Lucchesi's done. Usually a starter. He's pitched really well, though. How do you feel about Joey Lucchesi getting those late inning high leverage situations?
I mean, it's just not a formula that you could go into October with. I mean, that's for sure. Joey Lucchesi is more of a back-end starter, long reliever type, and there's no way that he should be used in a leverage role. And we kind of talked about this a little bit before the show, but it just doesn't make much sense, and it kind of shows how thin the bullpen is right now after some of those moves that they made, trading away Doval and Rogers. But it's kind of the cards that are dealt right now. And maybe there's a dark horse that comes into this bullpen the last 2 months of the year. Maybe you get a Blade Tidwell in there. Maybe you mix in a Hayden Birdsong as a short reliever down the stretch. I mean, there's a hot take possibly, but I don't know if Joey Lucchesi's the long-term fit. He's been great. Don't get me wrong. He's been great. But in a leverage spot, in big games, and again, the Giants, what are the odds that they do play in October this year after the slide that they had? But if we are talking 5%. About big games, and we are talking about the 8th inning, and we are talking about leverage spots, I would like to see a little bit more.
I agree. Again, it's working right now, and I'm willing to work with Joey Lucchesi in the 8th inning as of right now. He's a guy that at the stage in his career that he is in, he's just trying to pitch. He just wants to go out there and just shove as hard as he can, and he's making it work right now. But the Giants, they got a lot of kind of bulk inning guys, really. Tristan Beck is a guy who you could pitch him in any inning, which I love about that. Thank you, Mark Melanson, for making that possible. Spencer Bivens is a guy who I kind of want them to go away a little bit right now just because I think they've worked him so much this year. I think he's a great 6-inning guy. He's another guy who can just handle any sort of inning whatsoever, and there's so many versatile ways that the Giants can use one Spencer Bivens. And you also got Carson Seymour, another guy who can handle those middle innings. Kaiwei Tang, I think when Landon Roop comes back, if Tang is still on the roster. I think he could be a middle relief guy. Giants got plenty of great middle relief options who can gobble up that 6th and 7th inning there, along with, that 7th inning along with Walker and Miller. The 8th inning is the interesting one. I like Buto. I'm willing to roll with Lucchesi for now. How much longer? I don't know. As long as it's working, I'll roll with it. If things get shaken up a little bit, maybe you mix it up. Maybe Lucchesi is a 6th, 7th inning guy. And Matt Gage becomes your other 8th inning guy along with Buto, which would be great because then you have that righty-lefty combo that you can alternate between in the 8th inning there to give you some optionality. And so this is going to be interesting to see how Bob Melvin works these roles out here. I'm curious kind of what the judgment process is going to be like. The pieces are there. The sooner the Giants get the bullpen roles in order, then I think you can feel very good about this team potentially making a run, though they do also have to score runs as well. Hopefully they can start doing that today. On the other side, we'll wrap the show up, talk about Carson Whisenhunt a little bit, and also 18 years ago on Thursday, Barry Bonds stood alone. Talk about that on the other side. It's the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap, brought to you by Fremont Bank, here for you, here for good.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
We finally switched to T-Mobile because with them, we can be connected here and there.
¡Listos todos! Estas son las mañanas.
Now we just need to harmonize.
Switch today. Get 4 Samsung Galaxy S25 phones with Galaxy AI. Plus, get 4 lines for just $25 per line. Visit a store, T-Mobile.com, or call 1-800-T-Mobile. 1-800-T-Mobile. For well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes and fees and $35 per line connection charge. Minimum 4 lines on plan. Contact us if canceling lines. Plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
The world's best amateur golfers are coming to San Francisco's iconic Olympic Club August 11th through 17th for the 125th U.S. Amateur Championship. 312 players will compete on the legendary lake and ocean courses, where the winner will join past U.S. amateur champs like Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Jack Nicklaus, and Arnold Palmer. Walk the fairways and see the future stars of golf up close. Get your tickets now at usga.org. That's usga.org and click tickets.
Step up to the plate and save lives with Stanford Blood Center. Donate blood during August and score a free limited edition Stanford Blood Center in San Francisco Giants co-branded jersey, and only available for a short time. This exclusive jersey is our way of saying thank you for being a hero. Every blood donation can help save up to 3 lives, making a real difference in your community. Supplies are limited, so don't wait. Visit StanfordBloodCenter.org to schedule your donation.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the GPS directions first, before driving to the mall.
Turn right at the light. In 1,000 miles, you will reach Montreal.
Not Montreal, the mall.
Recalculating. 6,000 miles to Nepal.
No, the mall.
Checking first is smart.
Recalculating.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. Whether it's a long day on your feet, a demanding workout, or everyday aches and pains, you need relief that can keep up when pain persists. Aleve is here for you with longer-lasting body pain relief compared to leading OTC-branded pain relievers. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
Spina bifida is a common birth defect, and everyone with spina bifida from childhood through adulthood deserves to flourish. The Spina Bifida Association is creating a future where this is more than just possible. It's inevitable. We're advancing clinical care and shaping innovative research. With your help, we'll build the future that people with spina bifida deserve. Join us at SBAA.org. That's SBAA.org. This message is sponsored by the Spina Bifida Association of America.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Devers steps on the bag. Here's the throw. And they got him.
Now back to the best Giants talk in the Bay. The Orange and Black Weekend Wrap on 95.7 The Game.
I feel like a beached whale.
It's primetime TV.
I don't know why I did those drops. I just felt like it. Final 30 minutes-ish, keyword-ish, of the Orange and Black Weekend Wrap. Sam Lubman here, Steven Risotto, Zach Green, killing it behind the glass today. You know who else has been killing it lately? It's the Golden State Valkyries on defense. Zach, I know you're at those games a lot. That's some, despite losing Kayla Thornton, Mo Billings, some pretty tenacious defense the Valks have been playing lately. Pretty impressive.
No, the games are really fun. The fans are insane. I mean, today they got the Sparks, who have the same record as them. The Sparks have played really good ball since Cameron Brink came out. And I would expect a celebrity sighting tonight.
That is true, because Cam Brink, for those who do not know, Stanford legend, she is the goddaughter of Stephen Curry. So there's a chance that the chef could be in the building at Valhalla tonight.
Hey!
That's because I'm bringing up the Valkyries, because tonight at 5:30, the Valkyries taking on the LA Sparks. Kelsey Plum, Cameron Brink. You can hear that game right here on 95.7 The Game and on the Valkyries channel on the Odyssey app. Just download that app and search Valkyries. The app is free, by the way. You can also watch the game on KPIX. Pre-game starts at 5 o'clock. Brought to you by the San Francisco Sheriff's Office. Your future begins here. As the Valkyries currently, let's see, they got 4, 5, 6, 7. They're currently in that 8th spot, tied for the Sparks, as Zach, you mentioned. 14 and 15, both of them. Valkyries desperately trying to be the first expansion team, the WNBA, to make the playoffs in their first year. And Coach Natalie Nakase, despite losing 2 of your best players, she's got this team playing some great defense. I believe they're 5th in defensive efficiency in the W this year. The Valkyries are even though it's their first year, and it's a team of role players for the most part, they are setting an identity this year. This is a tenacious team, a defensive team. They do not give up. And I really got to applaud the job that Natalie Nakase has done setting a culture for this brand new franchise. They had Joe Lacob and GM Ohema Nyanen, absolute home run pick, I think, with Coach Nakase and the tone that she has set. So hopefully the Valks can get into the win column tonight, even up their record, put some distance between them and the Sparks. And I've gotten a few of those games. I haven't gotten to a game yet just because of my own failings and schedule not really syncing up because I'm at Giants games a lot, but just a lot of great performances. Carla Lite balled out the other night in the Valkyries' loss to the Las Vegas Aces, and loving what we've been seeing from Veronica Burton. Janelle Saloon, she is just getting better and better every week, and it's impressive to see this team battling after losing 2 of their best players. So shout out to the Valks for that one. Catch them tonight. We are wrapping this show up here as a big start for Carson Wisenhunt today. He is going to be on the mound taking on the Nationals at 1 o'clock, about an hour and a half away from first pitch there. We do have lineups for this game. I announced them earlier, but I'll announce them again for those who were not listening to the show at the time or just missed them, or maybe just want to hear the lineup again. Maybe you just really like lineups. I won't shake a stick at that if you really like lineups. Your lineups today, it's because of 1 o'clock start. Elliot Ramos in left, Rafie Devers batting second, DHing, William Damas at short, batting third, Big Dom Smith, the real Big Dom, batting cleanup at first base, and I actually don't hate having Dom Smith in the cleanup spot. Matt Chapman hitting 5th at third base. Jung-Hoo Lee hitting 6th in center. Casey Schmidt batting 7th and at second base. Drew Gilbert, can he get his first hit today? That would be pretty cool. He is batting 8th, and in right field, Andrew Kisner in the squad. He'll be putting down the signs for the lefty, number 88, Carson Wisenhunt, making his second start at home today. First one against the Pirates, against Mitch Keller, did not go as well as it could have gone because of the whole, Pirates scoring more runs than the Giants did that night. That really kind of put a bummer on things. But he did get a win against New York last weekend. Love seeing that. And so hopefully he can get his first win at home. That would be really cool to see there. Been some very interesting stuff from Wisenhunt so far. Steven Risotto, you pitched once upon a time, so you probably know a little bit more about pitching than I do. Again, it's only been a couple starts so far, so obviously there's still so much more we need to see from this kid. Just what's been your first impressions of Carson Wisenhunt so far?
Well, everything is pointing to that changeup, and it's been well advertised in the minor leagues. It's been a big pitch, one of the best changeups by a pitching prospect at any level of the minor leagues. And it is for real. We didn't really see it in the first outing. The second outing, we saw it. It looks great. The one thing that I think is kind of a general consensus with everybody in the organization is there needs to be that third pitch, the third pitch. And I think Shasky mentioned it too this week on the Morning Roast, that if he could develop a nice slider, something with movement in on a right-handed hitter, away from a left-handed hitter, it could kind of change his game and take it to the next level. And I think the one thing that I'm thinking of, and this is a stretch, I'm just comparing the repertoire when the guy came up. Clayton Kershaw, when he first came up, had the fastball and the curveball, and then he added the slider. Now, I'm not saying that Carson Wisenhunt is Clayton Kershaw at all, and he will never be, and I think we could feel comfortable saying that. But what I am saying is that type of addition to where you could add a third pitch would be pretty instrumental in Carson Wisenhunt's game. But other than that, he looks good. Looks like a guy who had a great last few months in Sacramento and could make a difference here down the stretch to finish out the year. Not Clayton Kershaw, so don't take my words out of context.
So what you're saying is he's basically better than Clayton Kershaw already.
Lubman!
Steven Risotto, breaking news. Carson Wisenhunt is the greatest pitcher in baseball history.
I'm going to get called out for that.
There you go. But yeah, in his last start against the Mets last weekend, he did get the win, went 5 1/3, gave up 2 runs and a home run, did strike out 4 along with 2 walks there. His first start against the Pirates went 5 innings, 4 runs, 3 strikeouts, and also a home run. So maybe he could just not give up a home run today. That would be pretty cool. Of course, I shouldn't be bringing this up, but I am because I just am a horrible person that way. When I saw the stat yesterday, it was like on some betting website, James Wood has not homered in 20 games. You said he hasn't homered since the All-Star break?
Since the All-Star break, he's been quiet.
Yeah. I hated seeing that. I hate stats like that. It's like when a team comes to town, they're on like a 7-game losing streak. It's just like, oh, that just means they're due. Exactly. Oh, I know that explosion. It's from the Kuminga crisis. So, going to see a little bit of Carson Wisenhunt today. So, very excited to see what he does. And again, if the Nationals just stink, I'm going to be honest, they do. And if Wisenhunt can put up a good start today, build up that confidence, because again, even though the Nationals stink, a good performance today from Wisenhunt will still matter. You got Landon Root coming back soon. Can you count on Carson Wisenhunt to give you some plus innings down the stretch? And you already know that you feel good when Landon Root's on the mound. And then you got 3 guys in Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, Justin Verlander, who are proven winners. And the Justin Verlander part's an interesting one. He's going to be going tomorrow against the Nationals. He has pitched very well for this team ever since getting his first win. And it feels like just with him, the monkey is off his back, so to speak, in terms of just when you're a guy like him who just throughout your career, you've had almost nothing but success. And then here you are, you're trying to prove you still have game left in you. And you just, that 0-3 is turning into an 0-4, and then it's an 0-5, and then it's an 0-6. And it's just the goose egg in that win column is just glaring at you while you have all these crooked numbers dancing around in your loss column. There's no way that was not absolutely grinding on a guy like Justin Verlander. And I got to imagine that getting that first win is just relaxed him to a point where it's like, finally, got that done with. Let's just focus on pitching. And he got that win in Atlanta. And in his last 3 starts, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, he's got 15 innings pitched, and he's allowed 2 runs in that time. Got 14 strikeouts in those 15 innings. So last 3 starts, Justin Verlander's pitched about as well as he needed to all year long. And he's doing it consistently. And he's getting some help behind him. Need to see more of that. And then need to see another great performance from Carson Whisenhunt today. After what we saw Kai-Wei Tang do last night, set the tone. Like, hey, Tang's going to go out there and shove like he just did last night. Carson, now it's your turn. Let's keep this thing rolling here. Let's start putting a winning streak together. Giants have won 3 in a row, 5 of their last 7 coming out of the trade deadline. Just keep stacking wins. Keep stacking series wins. Win this series against the Nationals, and then you can get greedy tomorrow with Verlander on the hill. Go for the sweep over a bad team at home, which is something that playoff teams should be able to do. And then that sets you up with some momentum going into what will be a very tough series against a much improved San Diego Padres, who got that new closer, Mason Miller. It's been an up and down season for him. By the way, Padres giving up the number 3 prospect for Mason Miller, number 3 prospect among others, for Mason Miller and then J.P. Sears. And then they immediately just throw J.P. Sears down in the minors.
Oh, no.
Like, and Steven, you and I, we were talking about this before this show. The work that A.J. Preller does, and we were comparing him to Dave Dombrowski. It was like, would you rather have a Dave Dombrowski or an A.J. Preller? I mean, I'd probably want to go with an A.J. Preller, but man, that guy is crazy with the prospects that he throws out there.
It's almost like that David Dombrowski is like the more controlled version of A.J. Preller, where it's like the filtered and the safe for work version is David Dombrowski. He's got the track record of success. And then just like the satellite radio HBO type is A.J. Preller, where it's a little bit more chaotic and uncensored.
Yeah, A.J. Preller, he's just throwing stuff at the wall to see what works in some of these trades. And I kind of respect it. And the reason why I think I've looked at the Padres, it's like there's no way this is sustainable. It's looking like it. And the reason Preller can make crazy trades like this and give up the number 3 prospect in baseball is because he's got a Hall of Famer at third base in Manny Machado. And he's going to be a great baseball player for the next 4 or 5 years. And when Machado's game starts to decline because of age, that's going to be right at the same time that Fernando Tatis Jr. is going to be in the thick of the prime of his career. Oh, you also got Jackson Merrill, too, who's also a pretty good baseball player, and his career is just getting started. You got a lot of great talent on that team. You got pillar guys to build around on that team. And so A.J. Preller, he is going to keep just going crazy there. And the haul he got, he also brought in Ryan O'Hearn to be the DH. He's having a great year. He's a guy I wanted the Giants to get at one point. And then you also got Ramon Laureano in the outfield. So, who great arm for Laureano. So, all that is to say, today's game and tomorrow's game are very important for the Giants to build some momentum going into that big series against the Padres. 2 things I'll wrap up here with the show with here. 1, Jerar Encarnacion. I wanted to spend a little bit more time on him, but I don't think we're going to have that opportunity today. But he was put on the injured list, unfortunately, again, with a hamstring strain. And here is what Bob Melvin had to say yesterday pregame about Jerar Encarnacion and his latest injury.
It's tough. I mean, it's one of those years that you really feel for the guy. I mean, this is his best opportunity to ever come to the big leagues and have a real spot. We saw that coming out of spring. There was going to be one for him, and we finally get him back here, and it's very impactful in the 2 games that he played over there. He hit 2 homers, we won the games, and now all of a sudden he's out for a significant period of time. It's going to be between a month and 6 weeks. So, just try to, get him back when he can, and hopefully there's some time where he can be impactful again.
So a month to 6 weeks, let's just say the quiet part out loud, I think we've seen the last of Jerar Encarnacion this season. And the question I really want to ask, and we don't really have time to dive too deep into it, but just like, what is Jerar Encarnacion to this team? This is a guy that last year, let's rewind a little bit further beyond that. Last year at the trade deadline, the Giants traded away Jorge Soler. And Farhan Zaidi, after proclaiming that he, owner of the best rotation in baseball, also said that with the trading away of Soler, It's going to open things up to give Marco Luciano at-bats at the DH spot. And almost immediately, the Giants pivoted off that plan and went right into, actually, no, let's give Gerard Encarnacion these at-bats. And I understood why. That power is tantalizing. I mean, he absolutely booted that one. No, I shouldn't say boot. That's for messing up plays. He absolutely nutted that one the other day in Pittsburgh. 442 feet. Like, wow, he crushed that. A massive potato shot.
Big potato.
Big potato shot there. Shout out Steven Ruderman with that one there. When you see moments like that, it's like, yeah, I get it. But what he basically is, guys, is he's Pedro Serrano. He can hit the ball far, but he needs to be able to hit the ball. You know, I can hit straight ball. I cannot hit curveball. I'm not going to do too much of a Serrano impersonation. But that's kind of where... hands? Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, Gerard Encarnacion could be in better hands right now, health-wise. And I cannot believe we have that as a drop. Yeah, the power is so tantalizing. The contact, though, leaves so much to be desired. And I don't think he can put the bat on the ball consistently enough to where you're feeling good about him as a DH every day. He has the look of a prototypical DH, but he doesn't have the contact profile. And so I like the experiment. I was down to give the experiment a shot. The injuries, though, have just completely derailed it. And with the arrival of Rafie Devers, with the impending arrival of Bryce Eldridge, with Drew Gilbert looking good in right field, with Elliot Ramos being a corner outfielder option, maybe they move him to right field and put Drew Gilbert in left at some point. Hey, who knows? You got too many corner outfielder, corner infielder, DH types on this team. And much in the same reason why I just don't see space for Bryce Eldridge on this team right now. A similar reason is why I don't see a future for Gerard Encarnacion with this team. That's just the reality of it. It sucks. Because I really want to see what he could have done if he could have gotten the contact just a little bit better. But it seems like the Gerard Encarnacion dream, however faint it was, is gone now. The Marco Luciano dream, that also might be gone as well. Whether or not he was in I don't know how much of a conversation was had about Luciano, whether to call him up and just see what there is, but the fact that the Giants immediately pivoted to Gerard Encarnacion at DH last year, the fact that they immediately pivoted to Drew Gilbert this year, just because Luciano's hitting well down in AAA, I think he's got around 20 home runs, got about a 770 OPS, which are solid numbers, but there's no position you can put him at. You don't feel good about any infield spot. I don't think he can handle right field. And there's no DH time for him. There's no consistent playing time for him here. And he's just not forcing the issue to show that he belongs at the big league level. And so I feel like the Marco Luciano dream, I don't want to give up on him completely, but if he ever does become a great baseball player, I don't think it's happening for the Giants. And it's a shame, too, because I went out to Stockton in 2021 for a Ports San Jose Giants game. And in the seventh inning of that one, this kid, 19 years old, bigger than everyone else on the field, hit another big potato to deep center field, a Rafie Deversian shot to deep center field. And I couldn't stop talking about the rest of the night. I was with my girlfriend at the time, and she thought I was nuts, just babbling, nonstop about this home run on the drive home. And it's not the reason we're not together anymore. It's other reasons. But that's just how excited I was for this kid at one point. And so it sucks. But with every door that closes, another one opens. And that's where Drew Gilbert comes in. That's where Blade Tidwell comes in. Do I have my Blade Tidwell drop? I have no idea where I put it. There it is.
Allow me the pleasure of introducing you to Blade. Laser. Blazer.
It's my Blade Tidwell drop.
Bring it on, man.
So we'll see. And then, of course, there is Bryce Eldridge, who soon he will be hitting giant bombs out of Oracle Park. You know who used to hit giant bombs out of Oracle Park? Barry Bonds. Steven, could you play the highlight, please? I just threw you on the spot.
3 balls and 2 strikes. The overshift is on, and Bassick deals. And Bonds hits one high. It's a dig! It is out of here! 7:56. Bond stands alone. He is on top of the all-time home run list. What a special moment for Barry Bonds. And what a special moment for these fans here in San Francisco. There it is.
There it was 18 years ago on this past Thursday. Steven Risotto was like 6 years away from even being born when that one happened. I happened to be there that night, and I believe it was in the 5th inning to lead off against Mike Bassick. What a lot of people don't know is Giants lost that game 8-6. Barry Zito took the L that night. And yeah, what a special moment that was. I was sitting in section 222 when it happened, and I almost didn't go to that game. I was supposed to go with my dad and a work colleague of his, and I was at my mom's house, and my stepmom was supposed to pick me up and take me to Bart. I almost missed the phone call, which meant I would have missed the game, but got picked up, went to the game, and met my dad at the ballpark. And I have no way to verify this. I have no way to prove this to anybody, so you just got to take my word for it that I am being truthful to you here. I, Sam Lubman, would never tell this kind of a lie. But when he had the count 3-2 against Bassick in the 5th inning, no outs, I just remember thinking to myself, he hit 73 on a 3-2 pitch. Maybe he'll hit 756 on this 3-2 pitch right here. And then sure enough, he hit it on the next pitch. You have to believe me on that one. Did I call it? Sure, why not? That was my thought process when that happened. And to this day, it's still probably one of the greatest. I mean, I saw number 73 as well. But that might be one of the greatest historical moments I've ever seen. It's probably the greatest historical moment I've seen take place on a baseball field. Granted, I mean, I've never seen a no-hitter. I was not there for Matt Cain's perfect game. My dad was, though. So I'm curious if he puts 756 ahead of the perfect game or vice versa. But man, 18 years since that happened. And it's still an absolute shame that Barry Bonds is not in the Hall of Fame. I can't think of a single reason why he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Like, literally, there's not a single legitimate reason why. Oh, what about the steroids? Yeah, shut up. It is just a shame. And still, one of just the seminal moments of Bay Area sports history. And I just remember sitting in my seat for the next 2-3 innings. The buzz around the ballpark was insane. First off, half the ballpark got up and went to the store after that home run to get all the new merchandise that was given out. I think I was there the next night when he hit 757. That's when you went to the booth and you got the I was there for 756 pin. And that was I had so many of those pins, those I was there pins for Barry Bonds, and I had them on my backpack, and people would give me grief because everyone knew it was cool to hate on Barry at the time, and I didn't care. I stuck by Barry through thick and thin, and just such a great moment that I felt so fortunate enough to witness along with 42,000 other Giants fans. And yeah, just it's man, the passage of time, man. I don't like it. 18 years ago, Bonds stood alone. Still stands alone at 762. Pop quiz, everyone know who gave up 762? Rizzo, I know you know.
I do know.
Yeah. Does Zach know? It's a very in the week.
I don't know.
I know. Yeah, Ubaldo Jimenez. Yep, one of the only pitchers to actually be able to pitch well, sort of, at Coors Field, and he hit it at Coors Field, of all places. I believe that was the first home run Ubaldo ever gave up against Barry. So it was, fact check me on this, I want to say how many pitchers did Barry hit home runs off of? I want to say it was like 400-something pitchers that Barry hit home runs off of. Mike Krukow, one of those pitchers. 460, I want to say.
You're off by about 30. 433.
Oh, okay. I was right in the 400s then. But yeah, 433 different pitchers Barry went deep off against. Number 433 being 762 and Ubaldo Jimenez. And so, man, it's just crazy to think that so much time has passed. And Barry, by the way, I see him walk around the ballpark every now and then. Still looks like he can step in the lineup and do some damage for this Giants team. And I bang it on the table. Do it. Reset his clock. Let's reset his Hall of Fame clock. There's enough stupid nuttiness going on in the world. Let's add another layer onto it, because why not? Nothing matters anymore. You know what does matter, though, is this big Giants game that's coming up in about an hour and 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Actually, no, hour and 10 minutes, because it's a 1:05 start, not a 1 o'clock start. And I got to head over to that game because I will be at that game today. Rizzo, I think you're going to be rolling with me as well. Zach, are you at Valkyries tonight or you're at the Niners tonight?
I'm at the Valks.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, hopefully the Valks even things up there as well. Again, catch that game tonight at 5:30. And then later this evening, lock in with Mark Grandy for your Red and Gold post-game show. Talk about the Niners' first preseason game of the year. And great show today, guys. A lot of fun Giants talk. There's so many things we didn't get to with this team. There's so much that we can still talk about with this team. So, you know what? Let's just do it next week. Dan Devone will be back in studio next week as well. Be great to have him back. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in today. Let's hope the Giants can make this a 4-game winning streak. And most importantly of all, if you're going to come away with any sort of takeaway from this show, it is this one true fact. The Dodgers suck. Bye, everyone.
This is Dan Devone saying so long, everybody.
Later, dudes. Let her rip. Hang 10.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's